Mookie Betts. To me, he's like LeBron James. He does so many things on the baseball field to help you win. We got the two biggest stars. The biggest star in basketball resides in L.A., and the biggest star in baseball right now resides in L.A. as well.
The biggest names in sports every morning with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin on ESPN Radio.
We are Dayton's home of the Ohio State Buckeyes.
And into the end zone goes Chris Olave. K.J. Hill, 6-yard touchdown catch. Right sideline and down he goes to the end zone.
WING 1410 Dayton, Dayton's ESPN Radio. It's the Justin Kinner Show, live here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM. Tweet the show at 1410 Kinner or give us a call at 457-9464. We now send you to the Wing Studios in Kettering. Here's your host, Justin Kinner.
Oh, that's what you were doing. I see. Nicely done.
No problem.
Nicely done.
I got you.
How is everybody today? A lot of tension in the air. You know, I mean, it's as if politics is like divisive or something. I mean, I wish politics was more like sports, where if if we didn't get the result we want, then we just congratulate the other side and we say good job. I mean, that's how the Browns and Bengals fans handle it. That's how I handle it.
Definitely how you handle it.
I mean, I think politics can learn a lot from Kinner and how we approach our sports handlings of results and those types of things. So as far as that goes, no, don't worry, folks. Not diving into that. Just relax. We're going to stick to sports.
1, 2, 3, 4. Just counting over here.
Oh, I see. Oh, you got jokes. Come on, Kinner. We don't, very edgy. I like it. Usually Kev's telling me, to calm down. No. But no, I hope everyone's had a great day, and we are off and rolling. Plenty to get into. I do want to open up with this Cincinnati Reds news right off the bat. It involves Trevor Bauer. But first, I want to congratulate Tucker Barnhart on winning his second Gold Glove. He joins. I mean, Johnny Bench is, only a few catchers for the Reds have won multiple Gold Gloves. Johnny Bench is one of them. Now Tucker Barnhart in that conversation, in that category as well. So shout out to him. But here's the problem. Did you have any idea that Major League Baseball was announcing some of their postseason awards last night?
I had no clue until I was messing around on Instagram and I saw Cleveland Indians second baseman Sejar got a Golden Glove. And I was like, when did that happen? So
that's the problem. Like, you got to understand, the reason that the NFL is so dumb, for one, the NFL, the game's just the best game out there. I mean, I could watch, I'll pick football over everything else. As much as I love basketball, football rules everything, as far as that's concerned. But damn it, I did it again. I'm trying to get rid of that as far as that's concerned. I've been told I do that too much. So now it's like I catch it when I say it, but it's besides the point. So anyways, as I was saying, the reason football dominates is not just because of the sport itself. It's because of the news cycle, the way it dominates the sports news cycle. The NBA is very similar. The NBA doesn't have the highest ratings. The NBA's ratings aren't, they don't rival the NFL. But you can argue that the NBA is just as popular as the NFL, but the ratings don't reflect it. But we talk about it year round. We talk about the NBA year round because the NBA, Adam Silver, and this goes back to even when Stern was, the commissioner of the NBA, they knew how to market that sport. That sport, the NBA, even when ratings are down, it's still one of the most talked about sports out there. Even when ratings are down, it's the one sport that kicks off most shows nationally across the board. People that get mad and say, "Well, all they ever do is talk about the Lakers. All they ever do is talk about." They do that because that's where the biggest chunk of fans are, and of course, it makes a lot of sense. You're going to talk about the teams that are going to generate the most ratings for you, so it makes sense as far as that's concerned. And the NBA knows how to pander to that. The NFL does the same thing, except the NFL has mastered the art of, man, we can make the Tennessee Titans garner all the NFL attention. We could take the Titans and make every NFL football fan out there tune into what we have to say. You know what I'm saying? Like that, the NFL has mastered that. Baseball is the worst. It doesn't know how to market its sport. It doesn't know how to market its players. It doesn't know how to capitalize on opportunities to take advantage of your sport being, right there, in the center of all of the attention out there. Last night was a very interesting time in our country because it's election night, right? Tensions are high. No one really cares about the Browns or Bengals last night. No one really cares about the Reds. No one really cares about a whole lot of sports topics yesterday because everyone's mind is elsewhere. Now, it's not baseball's fault. I know that November 3rd, they moved the election to November 3rd. Oh, wait, no, they never moved it. We've known that November 3rd was election day for how long now? Do you think anyone in Rob Manfred's circle decided to say, hey, you know what? Maybe, just maybe we should probably not announce any of our postseason awards on November 3rd due to everyone's attention being locked in on the election? Baseball is its own worst enemy. Rob Manfred is his own worst enemy. He can't get out of his own way. Last night, Major League Baseball announces the 2020 Gold Glove winners. And I can't, I wanted to be happy for Tucker Barnhart, but for one, I was so angry because, for one, I feel like as a sports radio host that we should be aware of when those types of things are coming out, but I had no clue. Now, that could just be because I'm bad at my job, but I also think is because it's also on a day that you at least expect awards to be coming out, mainly because there's an election going on. Yesterday, we tried to have fun with the show. We were trying to keep it loose. We were trying to have fun because we know that right now, tension's high. We get all that. And then Major League Baseball says, oh, man, we have a night where there's no basketball going on. There's no football going on. You would think that they would look for an opportunity to be able to announce their postseason awards to maybe dominate the sports news cycle a little bit the night of and the next day. And they picked November 3rd, the day of the election, so that we could talk about it the next day with everything else going on. You think people are really locked in? How many people today, with all the, with all the political tension going on right now, truly give a rip about whether their team's players won a Gold Glove or not?
None. Nobody.
They shouldn't in the big scheme of things.
I always wonder why baseball waits to the end of the season to make those announcements for awards. I always thought it was cool how the NBA does it.
Quick, hold up. Doug Toby, don't worry. The jersey's coming on here shortly. Just relax. He put the angry face. Doug Toby, I promise. It's coming here in a bit when we talk Browns Bengals. I promise you. All right, keep going.
I always wonder why they did it that way. The NBA does it during the playoffs and everything like that. And, hey, if Montrezl Harrell, he won Sixth Man of the Year, they make the big announcement right before the game. He gets his award right before a home game, crowd super into it and everything like that. LeBron wins another MVP. They wait till the Eastern Conference Finals, till Game 5. It just seems like those type of things just always roll like, man, he just got his MVP award tonight, and he proved it by dropping 48 points and blah, blah, blah. Like, it just like builds that mystique about a player and everything like that. But no matter when they announce these awards for baseball, it's always after the season. I always thought they should announce them during the playoffs. And for a lot of the time, a lot of these guys are still playing. So it gives you something else to look forward to. It gives you something else for the crowd that's there to get crazy about. Like yeah, our guy's got the AL whatever award, and he's going to show you why. Like, I just think that's a missed opportunity for Major League Baseball.
Well, I differ on that a little bit just because I don't have a problem with them announcing the awards after the season. My biggest problem is that from a PR standpoint, why would anyone in Rob Manfred's office sign off on them doing a postseason awards at all in any capacity on election night? I don't mind it after the season because it again, the season's over with. Right. So you would think, okay, there's nothing to talk about till free agency and all that starts. But this is another night where if there's no baseball or other sports going on, you're at least in position to be able to have your sport talked about. I don't mind that happening after the season. I mean, I see what you're saying too, but I don't mind it happening after. I have a huge problem with it happening on the night of the election. It's just it's typical. I joked earlier on social media. I said typical Rob Manfred fashion. He bunted foul with 2 strikes. I mean, that's just the typical Rob Manfred approach to everything that he does. And I just think that this was dumb. But nonetheless, how about Tucker Barnhart though? Second Gold Glove. Congratulations to him at first base. The National League, Anthony Rizzo from the Cubs, Colton Wong from the Cardinals at second base, Javier Baez with the Cubs at shortstop, Nolan Arenado from the Rockies gets the third base Gold Glove, Tyler O'Neill with the Cardinals, Trent Grisham with the Padres, Mookie Betts with the Dodgers. Of course, that wraps up the outfield as far as the National League 2020 Gold Glove is concerned. Yeah. So, I mean, it is what it is. Congratulations to him. But at the same time, it's like baseball. What are you doing? Like the reason that the NBA dominates year round. I mean, think about it. So the NBA tips off in October, and it wraps up in June? Yep. NBA finals in June. And then there's the draft in July. Yep. And then there's, free agency. Actually, there's free agency, in July. And then there's, along with, of course, free agency with the draft. And then it goes into Summer League. And then Summer League, actually, as people mock it, it gets really good ratings because people can't wait.
Summer League.
Because you get to watch Zion. For instance, whoever, it's unfortunate. I was really bummed that the draft was moved back because whoever Obi goes to, Obi would have been like the guy on whatever team drafts him for the Summer League, and we would have watched that around here. So then the Summer League takes over from about July into August, and then basketball, you're really only off for the month of September because then camp opens in October, season's tipping off by the end of October. The NBA cycle is literally year round. Mm-hmm. It's perfect, and it's not it doesn't like overwhelm you. Everything is spread out perfectly. The NFL again is year round.
Right.
Major League Baseball, it seems like their season lasts a year.
Yeah.
But there's even with as long as their season is, so many people tune out even in the middle of the season. Baseball just has so many flaws. They waste so much time trying to come up with these advanced analytics to improve how the game is played when the game itself wasn't what was broken. It was the guys up at the top. It was how the game was being managed. It's how the game is being marketed. Baseball has a problem. And it's not pace of play. All right. It's not, pitch clocks. It's none of those things. It's not, it just drives me nuts that baseball constantly thinks that it's figured it out. And yet they only continue to make things worse. They missed out. I mean, we're talking about it today lightly, but then we're about to move on to other stuff because there's plenty of other things going on. But keep in mind that this should be a big deal. These postseason awards should be a big deal. They should be talked about. And instead, we're talking about how dumb baseball is for the timing of which they announced it. November 3rd, Election Day. And they announce at night when everyone who has been thinking about Election Day or going out and voting during the day, they get off of work, they sprint home to turn on the news because they're just following the election, news cycle the whole time. You think that any fan was paying attention to what was going on when it comes to the postseason awards for Major League Baseball? No, they weren't. So again, you get a big old F, baseball. I don't know what you're thinking, Rob Manfred. As I joked about earlier, he bunted foul with 2 strikes. I mean, the guy just cannot get out of his own way as far as that's concerned. But we're going to open up the phone lines. We got the phones back up and rolling. In fact, we got every line working now. We were working with like only a few lines before. Now every line is back open. So we're hoping to hit the ground running with your phone calls again, once again here on the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. 457-9464. That's the number to call in and jump in on the conversation. We also have another Reds update for you here as we currently sit here. So right now, yesterday, we did this entire piece, and I put it up on the website today about, Trevor Bauer. I'm confident that he would re-sign and accept the qualifying offer for the Reds because I feel that every player that thinks that they are worth more, that they are right, but it doesn't mean that you're going to make that money. We are seeing teams cut guys left and right that are just saying, we'd rather eat some of that guaranteed money. We would rather just pay the buyout just to get your money off the books so that we don't have to worry about it in 2021. Talented guys. I mean, there's going to be so much talent in the free agent market, and there's not going to be enough available dollars to be able to pay every talented free agent what they're actually worth. Now, Trevor Bauer, with the season he just had, if you're going to prioritize free agents, there are going to be certain free agents that teams are going to say, okay, we're going to probably overspend to get him if we have to, just because he's that guy. And then there's going to be others that are talented that just don't make the cut. Trevor Bauer might be a guy that teams are going to take a big chance on because he's a dominant pitcher in the year he just had, but he just rejected the Reds qualifying offer, which of course assured the Reds a draft pick compensation if he signs with another team. I'm seeing people make excuses on Twitter saying, well, at least we get that. Folks, how does that help you now? I'm one of those people. I live in the now. I don't care about a draft pick for a guy that'll be drafted next year that won't even be up for the majors for another 5 years. I don't give a rip about a draft pick. I care about, and again, you can't force him to stay. Right. But this, you're allowed to say, hey, this is kind of upsetting. It's not like he's left yet. He hasn't signed with another team. He has the right to go explore free agency. I just really did. Something in my gut was telling me, hey, I have a good feeling that he's going to probably stay with the Reds because they're giving you an offer right now. You're going to get offers from other teams. But if you think you're going to make bank this offseason, I don't think he is. I don't think he's going to make what he's expecting to because of the coronavirus. You could pitch well in Cincinnati. You could make the playoffs in Cincinnati. Ask Sonny Gray about going to a bigger market and failing and not being able to live up to the expectations. And also ask Sonny Gray, when you leave those big markets to come back to a small market like Cincinnati, look how much more at home he feels and how comfortable he is. Let's be honest. Cleveland and Cincinnati, 2 easy markets to pitch in and 2 easy franchises to play for. Would Trevor Bauer's personality work in New York? Would it work in cities that, that annoying personality of his, if he has an off night or an off week, Those New York fans aren't going to let him hear the end of it. He gets annoyed when boobs in Dayton like me have something bad to say about him. How's he going to handle the real media in New York? Because I'm not real media. So how's he going to handle the criticism in New York if he goes there? I think he's still a chance he can come back. I was laughing because I was so confident he was coming back to the Reds.
I don't know, man. I think he's going to get his money. We got to remember Mookie Betts signed his contract in July. That's in the middle of the pandemic too. A lot of these big time franchises like the Yankees, Red Sox, Mets, Dodgers, they're still spending because they got their money from the TV contract because they're in those big market cities. Teams like the Cleveland Indians and the Reds, they have solid contracts, but they don't have the contracts that those teams have. So I think that he's still in play for a big payday. I mean, it's kind of really up to him if he really going to stand on that I'm only signing 1 year deal stuff, or is he going to say, all right, somebody going to blow him away with a crazy offer? And I think one of these teams like the Red Sox will do that because, I mean, Red Sox, they need to get back. They're seeing, obviously, the Yankees still ahead of them. Obviously, Tampa Bay was just there trying to win a World Series. So, they're falling further and further behind. And what's one way to get back? Go grab them a dominant pitcher.
All right, Reds fans, let's hear from you. 457-9464. We will step away for a few moments. We'll fill up the phone lines, and I want to hear your take on this. Is this a big deal that Trevor Bauer rejected the Reds' qualifying offer? It shouldn't be surprising because even according to, on Twitter, when you look at the reaction there, a lot of people are expecting him to opt out as far as that's concerned and reject the qualifying offer. But do you expect the Reds to re-sign him? We did this poll yesterday, part of our Election Day show. We sent people to the polls. How confident are you that he ends up back with the Reds next year? Have we seen the last of Trevor Bauer in a Reds uniform? The Reds have never had a Cy Young winner before, and as quickly as they got one, he's as quickly gone. Will he be back?
We call that grand opening, grand closing.
There you go. We'll be back in a moment. 457-9464. We'll talk with you Reds fans next.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash.
Justin, you're awesome, baby.
Right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
This afternoon will be clear, sunny, and windy with a high near 68. Tonight is going to be partly cloudy with a low around 48. And tomorrow will be partly cloudy with a high near 65. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Weather is brought to you by Cullet Propane. 98% of their customers recommend Cullet. If you wouldn't recommend your current supplier, check them out at culletpropane.com.
Hey, what do you want to da-da-da? I don't know. What do y'all think we should da-da-da? Well, what did we da yesterday? Yesterday. All the dolls feel like the same doll these days. I know. Like, is today Monday or Tuesday? Today is Thursday. Oh, no, I forgot to call my mom on her birthday. Oh, no. No.
These days, nothing is normal and everything is weird. But you could still save big when you switch to Progressive. That won't change. Not today or any day.
Quote today at Progressive.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
You decided to upgrade your outdoor deck. So you ordered the essentials. A power washer, a set of patio chairs, and a shiny new grill. And you use your Bank of America Cash Rewards credit card, choosing to earn 3% cash back on online shopping and up to 5.25% as a Preferred Rewards member, which you put towards your most essential deck addition, a bird feeder. Apply for yours at bankofamerica.com/more rewarding. Copyright 2020 Bank of America Corporation.
An important message from former Ohio State football coaches Urban Meyer and Jim Tressel about Ohio's fight against COVID-19.
There are moments in life when all the greats are tested.
But they persevere, adapt, and never, ever give up.
Ohio, that's you. You've saved countless lives and slowed the spread.
But we can't let up. We need to stick to our game plan because we know it works.
That way we can return to doing all the things we love and enjoy.
With our families and our friends.
Infection rates and hospitalizations are rising across Ohio, in our big cities and our small towns. Please wear masks in public, especially when you go inside. Practice social distancing and be careful even in small social gatherings. Don't let your guard down. Don't let the virus spread.
Ohio, when we stick together, we always win.
It's up to all of us.
This message is brought to you by the Ohio Department of Health.
College football, it's the game you wake up early on Saturdays for, even though kickoff isn't until 7. The game where the Goodyear blimp becomes a Hall of Famer. The game that goes just beyond school, spirit, fandom, or love of the sport. It's the game where the comebacks happen. It's the game where anything can and will happen as long as you have the drive. Because college football is the game that moves you. We get it because it moves us too. Goodyear, more driven.
For the one standing guard. For the eagle-eyed. For the knights in shining armor. And for all those who support them. We are Grainger, your experienced safety partner, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, committed to helping keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com/safety, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Need legal help? We can help. Hi, this is Mike Foley, your Montgomery County Clerk of Courts. Have you heard about our new help center? It's located at the Montgomery County Courthouse, providing legal information and forms. And we also share programs and resources that may be available to you. Let us help you navigate the court system. Visit us online at courthouse2u.com for more info.
Cordell Transportation is now hiring for brand new home daily dedicated lanes. Earn up to $1,620 per week. A $2,000 sign-on bonus, medical, dental, vision, company paid life insurance. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com.
Customize your space and make organizing easy with Dakota Closets from Menards. They're an easy way to upgrade any space to maximize storage. Begin with a pre-drilled starter kit and complete the look with shelves, drawers, wardrobe rods, and other accessories. Right now, all Dakota Closet kits and accessories are 11% off at Menards. Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Good through November 7th. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
OHMB 803-342 and MLS 304138. Do you need help with a loan to purchase or refinance your home? Have you applied for a home loan and been told you do not qualify for a loan? Are you a first-time buyer and have questions regarding the home buying process? Are you considering refinancing your existing home? Do you live in Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, Florida, or South Carolina? If you answered yes to any of the above questions, you need to call Forrest Ferris at 3rd Street Financial Home Loans at 513-320-5911, who is available 7 days a week to help you. We're 3rd Street Financial Home Loans, and Forrest Ferris specializes in approving home loans banks and other lenders cannot or will not approve. Some of our clients might have low credit scores, been through a divorce, want to buy a home for sale by owner, are in a land contract, or dealing with probate or estate homes. Call Forrest now for a free estimate. 513-320-5911. That's 513-320-5911. Offer valid for purchase or refinancing of homes located in Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, Florida, and South Carolina only. Minimum loan amount $60,000. Limitations and restrictions apply.
What's in store this holiday at your local Staples?
Decking the halls with custom cards and invitations.
Staples makes connecting with clients and loved ones easy with hundreds of holiday templates you can customize and call your own.
And now, for a limited time, get 30% off custom holiday cards and invitations. Some can even be printed same day.
Shop in store or order online.
And ring in the holiday for less this year at Staples.
Ends 12/19/20. Limit 1. Visit staples.com/holiday cards or store for details.
With the $10 Tastemaker from Pizza Hut, I can get a large with up to 3 toppings, so I don't have to pick between them. Nope, don't need that stress in my life. Order yours online at pizzahut.com. No one out-pizzas the Hut. Prices and participation may vary. Extra charge for pan-stuffed crust, extra cheese, and more toppings.
This is time that matters. A window of time to help protect the ones you love. Your preteen benefits from staying up to date with their well visits. This is your window of protection. Schedule their well visit now. Brought to you by Merck.
If you're driving less, you could be saving more on car insurance. Save money with pay-per-mile insurance from Allstate. Call a local Allstate agent and get a quote.
He's a former Buckeyes great and now a college football Hall of Famer. And don't forget about his 13 years of NFL experience playing for the Eagles, Dolphins, Jets, and the New England Patriots. He's Dayton's own Keith Byers. Hang out with him every Monday at noon on The Keith Byers Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio.
Justin Kinner, Kev Nash back with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. We're going to give you our top 5, bottom 5 NFL teams coming up here just around the corner. We'll also chat with ESPN Radio's Jason Fitz coming up here in 10 minutes as well. So excited to have that coming up around the corner. We got plenty of college football talk coming your way. Real quick, a little college basketball update for you. The Wright State Raiders announced their schedule earlier today. I shouldn't say they announced. The Horizon League announced its conference schedule. Kev, there is one word that every time I talk to certain people within various athletic departments around here, whether it's at Ohio State or here, when it comes to college basketball, it starts with cluster, and then of course you could put your any word you want after that. I mean, basketball is a mess right now.
Yeah.
And it is supposed to start 3 weeks from today. The season technically starts 3 weeks from today or yesterday. Either way, it's 3 weeks from now is when the college basketball season technically tips off as far as college basketball as a whole. It's when it's supposed to. So, again, everything's different because of COVID. The Horizon League announced their schedule. Wright State will open up the season, at least in conference play, on December 19th at Detroit. Now, they'll play back-to-back nights.
Oh.
So they will play Detroit on the 19th. They will play Detroit on the 20th. They will play at Detroit both nights. Yep. You look confused, but I'm telling you.
But that's a conference game.
Yep. And then their first home conference game will be against the Green Bay Phoenix. And Green Bay, they just hired Bo Ryan's son.
I saw that.
So I interviewed him, his son, a few months ago. I host the league's podcast for them, and I got to interview Ryan's son. Just is kind of cool, kind of hearing his story coming up. You know, we talked about his dad, whether his dad would be able to still, coach the way he used to growing up. He said that's one of the reasons his dad got out of coaching is just because you can't coach the kids the same way today. You can't yell at kids like you used to be able to, and everything along those lines. And he said he wasn't patient enough to adapt, so he just said he got out. But so they'll play Green Bay. Their first home game for the Horizon League schedule, Kev, will be on December 26th. They will play Green Bay December 26th, the day after Christmas, at home, and they will play Green Bay December 27th at home. So every opponent that they play, whether it's at home or on the road, they will play the same opponent at the same arena, back-to-back days or nights. And this was done, of course, because of COVID to kind of limit travel instead of having to drive, fly or whatever to Green Bay to play, and then Green Bay have to fly here to play. It's just, okay, now there's, you just won't play at Green Bay this year. They'll play here. Great. The only problem with that is the last couple seasons for Wright State to get to the NCAA tournament, or at least to get a top seed within their conference, is they have to get through Northern Kentucky, or vice versa. Northern Kentucky has to get through them. They play at NKU on February 19th, and they play at NKU on February 20th. That's a tough stretch for them. Right? They have to play NKU at NKU back-to-back nights. Northern Kentucky has announced they will not have fans at games at all, at least until the end of December, I believe, and they're going to reevaluate for how they want to do that moving forward. I don't know. I mean, I haven't even asked anybody at Wright State about what their policy is going to be as far as fans are concerned. And I know UD, there's already been a lot of upset people there, which, by the way, I'm going to tell you right now, there is no right or wrong way to handle attendance. There's going to be people that have varying opinions on it, but there's no right or wrong way. They're not wrong if they want fans in there socially distanced, but I also don't blame the schools that say, hey, you know what, we're not going to force feed this as well. But it's going to be interesting how these arenas look for college basketball. We already see how strange it is for football. We just watched Ohio State and Penn State, at Penn State under the lights, where we usually see a whiteout, and that was not the case that night. So college basketball is very strange. College football is very strange. Basketball is going to be just as strange. Other people I talked to about scheduling, Wright State's having a hell of a time scheduling non-conference games right now. They only have about one that is tentatively scheduled. They have that with Miami of Ohio. That was from a previous contract coming in. But there are a lot of teams that will not sign contracts to play. From what I'm hearing, these teams will not sign the contracts to play because there are rumblings of certain conferences. I don't know which ones. Certain conferences are probably going to go conference only. Mm-hmm. And they don't. That's why you don't see teams signing contracts to come play at the Nutter, or to have them, Wright State, go play them. So I don't know what's going to happen. There's other teams around that particular conference that are playing at, like Detroit's playing Michigan. They're playing Michigan State. Like, they're playing some of the bigger schools. I don't know. I thought Wright State was going to be in a spot where they were going to play bigger schools and go get the payday. Right. Go accept the money to go get beat up a little bit, and that'll make up for some dollars that you're missing from not being playing as many games or having fans in the stands during the season. But those teams aren't really looking to pay a lot of teams to come in either. Why are we going to pay teams to come in here to play games that we technically don't have to play in front of fans that aren't going to be there. So I see it too. It's just a big time mess. I thought you would see more mid-major conferences group up. I thought you would see the MAC and the Horizon maybe pair up, or you know what I'm saying, like some of those smaller conferences, pair up and say, okay, let's help each other out, give us our non-conference games, and then your conference will take care of you from there. Wright State, the Horizon League stuff came out today. The A10 stuff, that's going to be kind of trickling out here in the coming days as well, or at least within the next week. So we'll see how that's all going to unfold.
How do you feel about these basically 2 straight road games? Basically, you're playing every team on the road like twice. If you play them on the road once, you play them on the road twice. Before you would get one home and one away. How do you feel about it? Because I know you do a lot of these games. You cover these games. You're at a lot of these games. I mean, you go down to NKU whenever Wright State plays them. This is crazy. Like their biggest game is on the road twice.
I don't mind it. Wright State really they cannot win in Green Bay. They can't win in Milwaukee for anything.
Mm-hmm.
All right. They can't win in Milwaukee for anything. So they have Green Bay at home and they have Milwaukee at home. So those are two, that trip right there, usually Wright State struggles in. So if they had to play at Green Bay twice and at Milwaukee twice, I'd say, that's a tough stretch for them because they don't win there. Whether they have the best team and they have the worst teams, they don't win there. So that's why so they're fortunate because they get Green Bay at home and they get Milwaukee at home. So they avoid that tough road trip that they usually don't win at. And then it sucks that you have to go play at NKU twice back to back, but they win there. They get big wins at Northern Kentucky. So it is what it is. But it's fun to be able to talk some college basketball. We're going to be talking some UD stuff coming up here around the corner as well once we kind of have more of an idea of really not the A10 schedule. We kind of know that. But as far as more of the A10 preseason awards, the Horizon League preseason awards will be coming in. If I had to guess from what I'm hearing, it's Scott Nagy's going to be preseason coach of the year. Loudon Love's going to be preseason player of the year. If I had to guess how that's going to be unfolding. And the best part is for Loudon, I don't know what his plans are moving forward, but this year doesn't count towards his eligibility. So technically this is his redshirt senior year. Come on, so he'll get the redshirt Kenner senior year, the extra senior year as far as that's concerned. So but 457-9464, it's the number to call in and join in on the conversation. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. We'll be actually talking with Coach Scott Nagy coming up here within the next week, and we'll chat with him. So looking forward to that coming up around the corner. Justin Kenner, Kev Nash with you here. The phone lines are back up and rolling today again. We have some calls coming in. We're getting you guys set up in line now. We'll hit the phone line. So the news broke coming into the show that Trevor Bauer did exactly what we expected him to do. Maybe not me, but in the eyes of most, expected him to decline the qualifying offer from the Reds. He's going to make bank. That's why, as good as he was pitching in the year, every time he had a good outing, I'm like, okay, we need to stop cheering for this. This is only hurting our chances. Trevor Bauer announced last offseason that he was perfectly content with signing a one-year deal. And I think the Reds were confident because, he wasn't pitching at a level that you thought you were going to have to break the bank to keep him. He was just a good quality starter. You pay a little bit, do what you got to do. But now he's pitching at a level that is like Garrett Cole-esque. I mean, we saw let's remember, not even 4 years ago, Garrett Cole was pitching for the Pirates and was just a good quality starter for the Pirates. And, I remember watching so many Reds games that Garrett Cole was pitching against them, and Garrett Cole didn't look like he did when he was with the Astros. All right. And definitely doesn't look like he did with the Yankees. So we've seen guys who all of a sudden just something clicks again. Bauer's always pitched at a high level as far as that's concerned, but he kind of lost a little bit of a step last year. A lot of distractions, butting heads with the Cleveland organization and then being traded. Really never got his footing in Cincinnati for the back half of the season last year. But my goodness, he was locked in. And every time he had one of those outings, I'm like, you know what? This sucks. I'm not even happy that he's pitching well because he's just pitching his way out of Cincinnati. So he's going to most likely bring a Cy Young. Yeah. But we won't even get to cheer for him next year in Cincinnati as the Cy Young winner, most likely.
As he leaves right out the back door.
Yeah. I wish the phones were broken for this next guy that's calling in right now because I'm already ready for it. Charlie, welcome in, sir.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey. Don't sound all happy. Get out of here. Yeah, here we go.
Well, I just got to say, I was kind of bummed out yesterday because I forgot that there's an age requirement in order to vote for president, right?
Yes.
And I was trying to vote for Joe Burrow because, it's not like he got drunk and arrested by the police in Oklahoma. He's got a master's degree, so he's certainly qualified to run the country. If he can
you're right. He does have a master's degree. He had a lot of extra time to study because he sure as hell wasn't starting most of his college career. That's for sure.
Well, he wasn't busy trying to walk on teams because he's undersized.
Okay.
But, you know what I was thinking? You know, at first I was like, well, we're off on a bye week, and the Browns are also off, so there's no way he could go up and play a game for Cleveland because I'm sure he's got the time. But since he lives in Athens, I mean, it's a couple hours. Maybe Baker could drive down and learn how to play quarterback, you know, at Joe Burrow Stadium. How cool is that?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's pretty cool, right?
Oh, yeah. You've been locked and loaded. You've had a few days to think of these things, man. I'm happy for you. I'm happy that you were able to get these off your chest, you know.
Well, I mean, you know, you throw the ball like 10 times, complete like 5 passes. You know, I know the weather in Cleveland's rough, and he's not used to it. You know, that's fine. Some guy from Vegas showed up and just whooped him. So, I don't know what you do with that guy, Justin.
I think he's just fine. He was 13 to 25, okay? 5 drop passes that were right in the hands. It was the receiver's fault, okay? They catch those 5 passes. That's 60-plus yards back in his stats. He would have a completion percentage over 70. He would have had that touchdown that he caught. You know, so I don't want to hear that, man. Your hate is not warranted here.
Now it's coulda, woulda, shoulda.
No. I'm just telling you that if you want to talk about guys who had bad games, you talk about them receivers. You don't talk about old Baker.
Well, you know, another thing he can learn from Joe Burrow. When one receiver's having a bad day, just throw to somebody else.
The one thing I'm learning from Joe Burrow is that, hey, you just make excuse after excuse after excuse. Like, if I'm his offensive line, I let him get crushed against Pittsburgh. I'm a little upset if I'm his offensive line. They finally had one hell of a game, and no one's giving them any credit. The narrative is Joe Burrow won with all these backups. No, you don't have – when your first-string guys are as bad as they are, you don't even have first-string guys. You have nobody. So the second-string guys, or whatever you want to call them, come in, finally blocked for him, and now they don't get any credit. Now it's, oh man, Joe Burrow won despite the crap that was up on the offensive line for him. I'd be furious if I'm them. I'm letting him get rocked against the Steelers coming out of the bye week.
That's never going to happen. Anybody on that team would be willing to step up and play offensive line for Joe Burrow with pride because he's a true leader, and you know that.
Oh, such a big leader.
And I know what you tried to do Monday because you shut the phones off, which was hilarious.
It's genius on my part.
And then all you did was just say, "Oh, well, Joe Burrow shouldn't get the credit for that. It's the offensive line." Look how well
he threw for 250 yards. I mean, it wasn't a bad game. He played a good game, but I mean, to sit there and act like he willed his team, he didn't look any different than any other week. The only guys that stepped up for the Bengals was actually that defense and the offensive line. They should be getting the credit, not Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow played such a masterful game that he made his offensive line look like a bunch of all-stars because it's like, well, if you guys are just going to keep letting me get hit, I'm just going to avoid that. Remember the one play, he avoided like 5 sacks and still gained 7 yards. I mean,
trust me, there was a Cincinnati media member that made me want to puke because he tweeted out that might have been the greatest 6-yard pickup from a quarterback in the history of the NFL. I'm like, are you kidding me? That's literally what goes through these Cincinnati media members' minds covering this team. That's the greatest 6-yard pickup in the history of Bengals football. Really? Like that? You guys are nuts. You guys are insane.
Hey, did anybody talk about the catch that Tyler Boyd made? Do you know what I'm talking about? Where it was like right by his head, and he was like engaged with a defender, and within a split second he made that catch. That was like, all jokes aside, like that was one of the coolest catches I've ever seen. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, absolutely. His receivers make him look good. That's what that's what Baker did not have this past Sunday, as far as that goes. No, by the way, and jokes aside, that's a huge win. I hate that they have the Steelers coming out of the bye week because it would be nice if you had a team that wasn't like as stacked like that. Because you take that win and if you had like the Raiders or someone that you could like potentially beat coming out of the break, you could build on that. What I think could potentially happen is you're riding high after a win over the Titans, and then the Steelers just put a pounding on them, and then it's like, how do you get some of that momentum back that you had after the win over the Titans? I almost wish they didn't have a bye week. Do you like that they have a bye week after a big win like that?
They needed it. They needed it very bad. I mean, look at how many people are hurt right now on their team, and now you can actually make a decision, maybe put together a halfway decent offensive line. And who do you like? I mean, Quentin Spain. He's earned himself a starting spot as far as I'm concerned. I don't know if it was very hard, but, somebody who just comes in with like 5 minutes on the playbook and plays like that. That was the first time I saw we actually had, a push up front for the run game all season. like, do you agree? Like, I feel like we haven't had any running blocks. You know, like we haven't had anything up front as far as
that was the difference. Like, what was it? It was 2 years ago when Joe Mixon led the AFC in rushing, and that was the one thing that we were bashing the offensive line. But I was like, well, they're horrible pass blockers, but they did a great job of creating openings and creating lanes for Joe Mixon, who led the AFC in rushing that year. And then we thought he was going to build on that last year, but then last year the offensive line, they couldn't pass block, they couldn't run block, and that's been the case this year. But you're right, that was their best overall performance offensive line wise. But again, do it 2 weeks in a row, 3 weeks in a row, show that guys are building. I'll buy into it. But it was just one game, but it was a good game, and you want to see that. So I'll give you that. I'll
say this, and I'll let you go.
Yeah.
You know, you saying it's too bad we got to come against the Steelers after a bye because they're such a stacked team. That's a Browns fan's point of view. You know, like when you don't have a quarterback to play a team, like Joe Burrow picked Pittsburgh apart. He'll reveal Pittsburgh for who they are. They're not.
All right, you see, Charlie, I'm just going to cut you off there. I was trying to have an adult conversation. I was praising the offensive line. But then you got to go into La La Land again and start talking about Joe Burrow's going to dice up the defensive line or the defense for the Steelers. Now, come on.
Hey, who they? Kev Nash, I love you. Uh-huh. You run Dayton. Hey, you run Dayton, and you know what? The votes are up in here because what's really going on is you probably won the presidency, so yeah, you might be running America. But hey, it's Bengals Steelers coming up next week, so we'll see what's up, man. I don't know.
Sounds like the Steelers have a bye week that week too. Then.
Well, I mean, they got the Cowboys this week, so I mean that's the bye week right there.
They get back-to-back bye weeks. Not bad.
Yeah, that's a joke of a team. You don't even talk about them no more.
No, we have our own jokes in this state to talk about. We don't need to go to Texas for that. But Charlie, you take care. Man. You saw me. I was trying to be nice. But then he had to go back into that how Joe Burrow going to destroy. I mean, even you. Come on now. Joe Burrow going to destroy the Steelers?
Nah. Destroy? Come on.
Well, to be fair, he could probably throw for 125 yards, 1 touchdown, and 3 picks. And they're going to talk about that 1 touchdown and say how he just literally he threw a touchdown against the Steelers defense and Baker Mayfield couldn't. Blah 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 blah.
I think there's only 2 quarterbacks that can destroy the Pittsburgh Steelers. One is Tom Brady and the other is Patrick Mahomes. Can other quarterbacks beat them? Of course. I think, not to be like Steelers heavy real quick, but, currently they're the only undefeated team in the NFL. I saw something on ESPN talking about they could go 16-0. Look, man, they're not going 16-0, man. They're not. They're probably going to lose to the Ravens the second time. And in all actuality, the Ravens outplayed the Steelers. If Lamar doesn't throw 2 interceptions, they lose that game. They're probably going to lose a game that everybody's expecting them to win. Is it this week versus Cowboys? I saw that they got making another quarterback change down there in Dallas. Is it going to be the following week to young Joe Burrow and the Bengals? Potentially. They're probably going to lose the second matchup versus the Browns. I don't see them winning more than 12 games. I just don't.
Ooh, well, here's what's coming up for Pittsburgh. So you got the Cowboys. All right, 7-0, that's 8-0. Bengals, 9-0. Jaguars, 10-0. Ravens, here's the thing though. Here's why I'm definitely not predicting the Steelers to go undefeated. But man, that defense is something.
Yes.
When's the last time Pittsburgh they're known for their defense, but the Ravens on paper, yeah, but this is basically the same team. But again, it's just another
quarterback.
Full season.
Got a quarterback now.
This was a team that was so embarrassingly bad offensively last year.
Mm-hmm.
That somehow they found themselves at 8-8 at the end of the year, and it's because of that defense. So that defense took a embarrassingly bad offense and allowed them to be 8-8. Now you have a competent offense with Big Ben, back into the starting lineup. He's running that offense. Claypool's emerged. We thought that we were waiting for Juju Smith-Schuster to be the guy, and now he is the guy in his comfortable role of being the number 2, which is what we talked about. I don't know if Claypool's number 1, but he's acting like the number 1. Yeah. He is the number 1, and that's what's allowed Juju Smith-Schuster to become comfortable. I'm not predicting them to go undefeated, but damn, even against the Ravens, you could just tell the difference between, could Big Ben keep up with Lamar? No, but that defense slowed down Lamar, caused 4 turnovers. Maybe they lose to the Ravens, but then you got the Bills after that. Maybe you'll circle that and say, okay, that could be a close one. I think the Steelers beat them. You got the Bengals again, you got the Colts and the Browns to close out the year. I see 2 losses. This could be a 14-win football team when it's all said and done.
Don't get me wrong. I'll take it. But think that's how the NFL works. You start schedule watching. You start like looking ahead and saying, "Oh, that's a win. That's a win." You start circling the wins, and then boom, out of nowhere, freaking Joe Burrow throws for 400 yards and they win a game. And like, well, nobody saw that coming. And are the Steelers who we thought they were? They look a little suspect versus the Bengals, and the Bengals aren't really that good. All that type of talk starts. I just think that eventually they're going to lose, obviously. And there's several games on there that I think they're potentially could lose. They can lose to the Colts. I've been talking so much trash about Phillip Rivers. He's actually been playing pretty good football, not turning the ball over left and right.
His last bad game was against the Browns,
right?
A month ago, at the beginning of October.
Yeah. So he's picked up his play. The Ravens, you telling me that they're thinking like, all right, hold on, we ran for over 250 yards against the number one run defense in the NFL and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Lamar's going to be licking his chops to say, man, I got to get a victory over a top-level team because versus everybody else, I win. I just don't win versus the Steelers and KC. I got to beat them eventually. So this is another opportunity on Thanksgiving. So I'm looking at really those two games for potential losses. And I know it sounds crazy, but I think that the Browns and the Bengals do have an opportunity to beat the Steelers, especially the way the Bengals pass the ball. If they go back to this style that they've been playing, really shotgun heavy, rolling him out, passing the ball a ton, they have the potential to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, I don't think so. Mainly because, look, the two best games that Burrow has had has come result. Well, no, I lied. He's had great games pretty much every week. The two best games that the Bengals have had have resulted in wins. And both what both of those have in common is the fact that they were able to protect Joe Burrow. Both wins combined,
that's a good point.
Joe Burrow has been sacked one time in 2 wins. So when the offensive line shows up, they win. That's why I'm not being a Bengal hater here. I'm just saying that right there is why they are not beating the Steelers because look, I'm not doing because the Browns couldn't do it. There's no way they can. But the one thing about the Browns, I'm not talking about the quarterback play. I'm talking about the offensive line play. That offensive line for Cleveland is night and day better than what the Bengals have. And Cleveland or in Pittsburgh just annihilated them. Here's the deal. I know we talk about how Pittsburgh and Cleveland, Cleveland or Pittsburgh doesn't look at Cleveland as a rival, but you have to admit this. When I watched that Browns-Steelers game that day, Pittsburgh came out with an energy that was like they were motivated just to shut this team up.
I think
if they don't have the energy to shut Cincinnati up, maybe they become a little vulnerable. I'm not picking the Bengals over the Steelers, but if Pittsburgh flips that switch and they have that desire to say, okay, we shut Baker up, we shut the Browns up, we have another young quarterback who's new in the league, and we got to make sure we remind the Browns and the Bengals just who the hell we are because people were starting to doubt Pittsburgh a little bit. Big Ben's getting up in age, and it's like, hey, that defense is like, hey, you can question him, you ain't going to question us. They put on a show against Lamar, 4 turnovers. They put on a show against Baker Mayfield. Now it's Joe Burrow's turn here in 2 weeks. So that's all I'm saying.
I like the way you think.
If they flip that switch, but think of it, the most energy I've seen from them have come all in division games, which that's good for Mike Tomlin, who's been able to train them to say, hey, these division games matter more than any of the other ones. If we're going to get a loss, it better be to a team like Buffalo. It better be to a team that, even a Baltimore, if at least they're good. We're not going to lose to Cleveland. We're not going to lose to Cincinnati. You don't lose to teams like that. So that's why because of that offensive line, that's why I'm saying they're not beating Pittsburgh.
That's fair.
Joe Burrow's good enough to beat Pittsburgh if they could block for him, but you ain't blocking that Pittsburgh defense with that offensive line.
That's fair. And another thing, if Pittsburgh runs this gauntlet of games versus teams that are up and down, and they're going into the last week of the season versus the Browns, and they got everything sold up.
13-3.
If they got everything on lock, they're not playing Ben. Like, they're going to try to win with the backups because there's no reason to go out there to try to do anything. Like, the only way you go out there and try to win that game is if you're undefeated and you're trying to make history.
Keep in mind,
but the likelihood of that is so unlikely, man. I just don't see the point.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that. The one thing working against an older veteran team like the Steelers, they don't have a bye week.
Right.
Their bye week's done.
Already gone.
I joked about the Bengals being their bye week, but no, they don't have a bye week the rest of the way moving forward. They're at Dallas this week, Cincinnati on the 15th. They're at the Jaguars, and then it's a fairly it's a manageable schedule.
Yeah,
it's not an overwhelming schedule for Pittsburgh. But here we look at their 7-0, and there's really not a team on this schedule that you're looking at and saying, "Oh man, Pittsburgh has separated themselves a little bit." I don't know where you have them on your top 5. We're going to get to our top 5, bottom 5 coming up here in hour number 2. But man, Big Ben has 1,600 yards, 15 touchdowns. Baker has more passing yards and the same amount of touchdowns, but Big Ben looks like a million times better than Baker Mayfield. As far as that's because it's funny how stats don't always tell the story. Sometimes you just got to watch. If I'm going to use the stats, we could do that with Joe Burrow too. The stats people want to hide behind to watch the games though.
Yeah,
Baker has just as many yards as Big Ben. Do you think he looks like Big Ben?
Watch the
He has the same amount of touchdowns. Do you think he looks like Big Ben? Absolutely not, as far as that's concerned. All right, folks, you're listening to the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. What a day. Kev's I just spent 10 minutes talking about how I think the Steelers are going to go 14-2. That's black. I can't believe it. The Steelers and Cowboys coming up this weekend. Bye week for the Browns and Bengals. I hate that they have their bye week at the same time. I hate it. I would love to be talking about how one of the teams is playing, at least one of the teams. The fact that they both. But then again, after this weekend, though, it's fun the rest of the way moving forward because both teams are locked in the rest of the way. Knock on wood. COVID always has its own ideas of how it wants to manage a season.
I think 49ers had a little outbreak.
They play Thursday Night Football tomorrow night against the Packers. They shut down a facility due to a positive test. I haven't read the update on that yet. Everyone got tested. I think everyone tested. They had one test positive, which led to the facility being shut down. Of course, they're redoing the testing. If everyone tests positive tomorrow, then just that one player will be out as far as that's concerned. And I'm not even 100% sure it was a player that tested positive. I think it was someone on their staff.
Pulling it up now.
But either way, we'll have that answer for you on the other side. We're going to get to our conversation with Jason Fitz coming up here in just a little bit. Talk a little college football. We put it out earlier today, but when we talked with Jason Fitz, we were talking about who our college football, what our college football playoff poll would look like. Kevin and I have our polls for you too coming up around the corner. But we got a busy hour 2 coming up. Don't go anywhere. More of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash next.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Fever is a leading symptom of the coronavirus, so take your temperature twice a day with the Exergen Temporal Scanner. It's quick and easy to use, and its accuracy is backed by more than 80 clinical studies. Have your family start and end their day with the only home thermometer used and recommended by hospitals, doctors, and nurses. Your family can take their temperatures in seconds to know where they stand in the fight against COVID-19. Protect your family from the spread of this deadly disease and stay safe with Exergen.
At Shell, we know from the time you get up to the time you wrap up,
good night,
there's a lot of meetups, eat-ups, and hurry-ups. So come to Shell and get 3 things done at once. Fill up with Shell V-Power Nitro Plus to help keep your engine running like new. Save up with the Fuel Rewards program and never pay full price for gas again. And snack up with in-store rewards to save even more at the pump. Make the most of the stop you need to make with Shell and engines that continuously use Shell V-Power Nitro Plus premium gasoline. See full terms and conditions at fuelrewards.com.
Napa know-how.
Get all the quality parts you need at your locally owned Napa. Because right now, when you order from Napa online, you can pick up curbside at your local store in just 30 minutes. Or get your order delivered direct to your door with free one-day shipping on over 160,000 quality parts when you spend $35 or more. Quality parts delivered quickly and safely. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating stores, standard ground shipping and exclusions apply.
Ever wonder just how far an extra mile really goes? Drive a Mercedes-Benz van and find out. Start with a network of over 250 authorized dealerships backed by a sales force ready to help you with everything from customization to service on vans like the Mercedes-Benz Sprinter that's tailored to your lifestyle. With options like Blind Spot Assist and MBUX voice command for spoken directions, weather, and more.
The route is being calculated.
So whether you're enjoying life on the trail or working hard on the job, see how far an extra mile can really go by taking the first step into an authorized Mercedes-Benz van dealership today. Now with IRS Section 179, businesses can be eligible for up to a $25,900 tax deduction. That's up to $5,439 in tax savings.
Options and model availability may vary. See dealer for details about costs and terms. Some equipment described is optional. $5,439 tax savings based on 21% federal tax rate and eligibility to claim full $25,900 Section 179 vehicle deduction. information. Your tax rate and eligibility may vary. Consult your tax advisor for more information. Limits may apply. Visit nbvans.com. Offer valid through December 31st, 2020.
Susie, I love you. Your skin is soft, like a fresh leather interior.
Oh, Joe.
Your smell is intoxicating, like that of a new tire.
You always know how to make me blush.
So this year I got you something special.
Tires! Touring tires with an asymmetrical tread design.
Yeah, and a free alignment with standard installation.
It's just what I've always wanted.
Susie doesn't know that Joe saved $150 at tire discounters. This holiday, say it with tires.
All those mouths to feed. So many different cravings.
In a world filled with endless dinner options, lives a family ravaged by hunger. The answer lies with one man. No, not just a man, a king, a pizza king.
Get a large Casano's Deluxe Pizza for $15.99 or a large pepperoni for just $12.99. Call 294-KING and see for yourself why the proof is in the taste.
Pizza King.
Cleveland State women's basketball coach Chris Kilsmeyer, COVID survivor.
I was fatigued, just like every other basketball coach in March, but didn't think about getting sick. I woke up one night with the worst pains and chills I'd ever experienced. I tested positive for coronavirus and immediately self-quarantined. I got worse and worse and checked into the hospital. Multiple times I said, I don't want to die. We know what works. We know how to fight this, but it's going to take all of us doing the right thing every single day.
Sponsored by the Ohio Hospital Association.
It's time for some straight talk. Look, we all drop our phones. It happens. You fumble it, crack it, splash it. Well, Straight Talk Wireless now offers this new Platinum Unlimited plan that includes phone protection. Just $65 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data, plus 20 gigs of hotspot, 100 gigs of cloud storage, and more. All on the best network. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. See Mobile Protect terms and conditions at Asurion.com/Straight Talk. Limitations and exclusions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Of course we can help you with that oil change. Doing it yourself is a great way to save some money. Right now you can get 5 quarts of Pennzoil high mileage motor oil and an STP oil filter for just $27.99. And we've got even more ways to get it. Just order online with our next day delivery or free same day store pickup. Getting the job done just got easier. Restrictions at AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
If you're driving less, you could be saving more on car insurance. Save money with pay-per-mile insurance from Allstate. Call a local Allstate agent and get a quote.
I saved big money with the Progressive Home and Auto Bundle, so I finally bought that new set of golf clubs. Watch out, Fairway. Here I come.
This is not a real testimonial. Sure, customers can save big with Progressive, but your other expenses won't just disappear. Are those clubs going to help you when the hot water heater dies? Also, it sounds like your money is better spent on golf lessons.
Time to go shoot the course record.
No, but maybe time for a reality check. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
It's time for some straight talk. Look, we all drop our phones. It happens. You fumble it, crack it, splash it. Well, Straight Talk Wireless now offers this new Platinum Unlimited plan that includes phone protection. Just $65 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data, plus 20 gigs of hotspot, 100 gigs of cloud storage, and more. All on the best network. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. See Mobile Protect terms and conditions at Asurion.com/Straight Talk. Limitations and exclusions apply.
You know, I don't know what my family would do without our Medicaid and Medicare benefits. But I just found out there may be a way to get even more benefits with no extra costs. That's why I called United Healthcare. United Healthcare showed me how I could get more benefits than I get with original Medicare. A dual complete plan from United Healthcare combines my doctor, hospital, and prescription drug coverage into one plan, plus provides additional great benefits at no extra cost, like dental and vision coverage, rides to and from my doctor, and credits toward health items and food. It's easy to see if you're able to get more benefits. Call United Healthcare at 1-800-222-CARE. That's 1-800-222-CARE. The call is free and there's no obligation. Call soon because the deadline for Medicare annual enrollment ends December 7th. Call United Healthcare now at 1-800-222-CARE. That's 1-800-222-CARE.
Paid actor portrayal. Benefits and availability may vary by plan and location. Limitations and exclusions apply.
The soothing scent of Vicks Vapor Rub. It's only one of the most iconic smells ever. That cooling, comforting scent generations of families have come to trust to help them feel better. And now you trust to soothe your family. Pick up some Vicks Vapor Rub in the little blue jar and wrap yourself with the calm only Vicks Vapor Rub can bring. Vicks Vapor Rub, always there for you.
With thousands of locally owned Napa stores across the nation, chances are that wherever you call home, we do too. And that's why you can find us in big cities, small towns, and everywhere in between, doing what we've always done to help keep our local communities moving forward. So whether you stop by a Napa Auto Parts store, Auto Care Center, or visit us at Napa online, you can count on Napa know-how.
If you're driving less, you could be saving more on car insurance. Save money with Paper Mile Insurance from Allstate. Call a local Allstate agent and get a quote.
Whether it's betting on the big game, catching up on bills, or saving up for the holidays, we could all use a little extra cash this time of year. Hey, how does $1,000 sound? It's the ESPN Dayton #WeWannaGetPaid cash contest. Listen for the word that wins every hour, starting at 6 a.m. Monday through Friday. Enter the word at wingam.com for your chance to win $1,000. It's the ESPN Dayton We Want to Get Paid cash contest. College football playoffs, Browns, Bengals, Buckeyes, and more. Catch the Keith Fire Show Mondays at noon on 1410 ESPN Radio. It's the ESPN Dayton #WeWannaGetPaid cash contest. Be listening every hour for the word that wins and enter it at wingam.com. WING 1410 Dayton, Dayton's ESPN Radio. It's the Justin Kinner Show, live here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM. Tweet the show at 1410 Kinner or give us a call at 457-9464. We now send you to the Wing Studios in Kettering. Here's your host, Justin Kinner.
Justin Kinner, Kev Nash, back with you here on a Wednesday. Everyone I talked to today, Kev, everyone feels like it's like a Friday. Like every time, we talked earlier, like, what day is it? I'm like, it feels like a Friday. Yeah. And it's depressing because then we did the math and it all equaled up to only being Wednesday. As far as that goes. But no, I hope everyone's having a great day. Obviously, a lot of political tension out there, and we're not trying to slap you upside the head with political talk today. So don't worry, we're good. We'll stick to sports. That's what we do here.
I do have a question for you about last night.
I'm not telling you who I voted for.
Don't worry, I'm not asking.
Kanye ain't going to win anyway.
How long did you stay up?
I was asleep by 10:30 last night.
Oh.
I was asleep by 10:30. I didn't mean to be asleep by 10:30. But, when I realized, too, that the election wasn't going to be, 4 years ago, I remember I tried to stay up as long as I could because we knew we were going to know the answer by, late at night by morning. This election, we knew nothing was going to be counted on time. I shouldn't say on time, but it wasn't going to be counted in the original time that we're used to as far as elections are concerned. So that's why everyone on social media yesterday, by this time tomorrow, this political party is going to be bitching and complaining. No, but this time tomorrow, I'm like, actually, no, we're going to be bitching. This is the most united we've all been. We all just want this damn election to hurry up and get over with as far as that's concerned. But, it is what it is at this point. So it's a soap opera. That's for sure. Yeah, I didn't stay up watching it. I was tuning in and I was watching other things, check here and there. But like you said, anybody that was aware of everything that was going on, we weren't going to get an answer last night. So there was no need to stay up till 2, 3 in the morning. I know some people that stayed up that late trying to hold out to see who was going to win. I was like, dude, you missed out on some great sleeping. No, it was, it's an interesting time. That is for sure. And there's just so much negativity going on social media that, you can't talk politics without it getting ugly. You can't talk, I can't bring up the Browns without the Bengals making it ugly. I can't talk Bengals without the Browns fans making it ugly. There's a lot of correlation between those two as far as that's concerned. But no, we're sticking to sports, folks. We're not going to have a hard opinion on anything one way or another at this point. It's just one of those where I'm seeing all these articles about election fatigue and everything. I'm like, it's political fatigue, man. Political fatigue. 2020 has just been one. We are a walking pinata, and 2020 is just hitting the hell out of us every time it has a chance. So
I do want to see the ratings for these networks, though, after the election. I bet you they're through the roof.
unbelievable as far as that's concerned. So, but all right, let's stick to sports, shall we? Let's talk about, of course, the NFL right now. Can you believe we're at the halfway point? We are at the halfway point.
The season is moving fast, very
all
fast.
Things considered, yeah.
I mean, it's so weird just looking at college football, too, to see so many teams with 7 games played and Ohio State only having 2. It's
Pac-12 kicks off this week.
Yeah.
Action
tonight. I love it. But it's, something normal where in the NFL, everybody plays the same amount of games. It was weird looking at so many Major League Baseball teams having 10 games played and other teams having 30 games played. So this is like some type of normalcy.
The Reds were, I'll never forget that night that, the Reds were playing their 20th game of the season when the Cardinals were playing their 6th game of the season, which now doesn't sound so weird. At the time, it was mind-boggling to me. But now, because of how strange everything is, when you look at what's going on in college football, as you talked about, with Ohio State heading into their week 3, while Clemson and everyone else is playing their 8th game or whatever already. I mean, it's interesting as far as that goes. But hey, you know what? My favorite part of the college football season is coming up when, of course, we finally dive into the college football playoff polls. When the polls tell us what we want, and I'm not, talking politics, relax, folks. And you hear polls, everyone's head. When the college football playoff polls come out, if they have your team where you want them, they're credible, they're good. But when your team's not where you want it to be, who cares? This poll doesn't matter. All that matters is the last one, right? Like, that's always my favorite. How many times I hear that a year when we're doing the show? Is it you?
I am that guy.
I think it is you too. All that matters is the last one, but you're right. But at the same time, it still triggers a reaction from it.
For sure.
And that's what all these dumb polls do. How many straight weeks have we talked about the AP poll and how pointless it is and how stupid it is, how teams are moving up and down in the rankings without even playing a game, but yet every week, can you believe that so-and-so is ranked here? That's why they put it down as far as that's concerned. All right, let's kick things off with our NFL Week 9, top 5, bottom 5. We're heading into week 9 of the NFL season. Every week we give you our top 5 teams in the NFL and our bottom 5 teams. I've had the Cincinnati Bengals in my bottom 5 every week of the season. I don't know if that trend continues or not, Kev, but I'm going to let you start things off. You want to start with your top 5 or your bottom 5?
No, let's get this trash out the way.
All right, so here's Kev Nash's bottom 5. If you're watching live, head to Facebook, search The Justin Kinner Show, and you'll be able to watch the show there. And again, Kev is going to walk you through his bottom 5 teams in the National Football League. If you're watching live on Facebook, here's his list.
All right, so number 32, obviously, the Jets. They're horrible. They're terrible. They're tanking. Adam Gase, whatever your name is, you're terrible, coach. Keep it up because you're going to get the number 1 pick. 31, Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, the mustache is just not working anymore.
Talking to me?
No. Yours is working. Yours
Someone already, hold up real quick. You bring up the mustache. Doug Morgan says, Kinner, shave that 70s porn stash, brother, or grow the goatee back. You know we can see you, right? That's not even the worst thing he says because he ends it with go Bengals.
Like I was saying, man, Jacksonville, Minshew, like they're just not moving the ball anymore. At least before, Minshew was moving the ball up and down the field, making games exciting. Their games aren't even exciting anymore. So, Jacksonville, you're 31. 30, the Dallas Cowboys. I was reading this thing from Damian Woodley, and he said he recommends them tanking the rest of the season and blowing it up. Not only tanking it, but blowing it up, like getting rid of certain players like a Cooper and a Zeke. So, that's something to keep an eye on with the Dallas Cowboys, but they're definitely in the bottom 5. Another member of the bottom 5 squad, the New York Football Giants. They put on a great effort on Monday Night Football versus Tampa Bay, but they didn't get it done. Was that pass interference, by the way, on that 2-point conversion? You think it was pass interference?
On which one?
The 2-point conversion. Danny Dimes threw it to the flats. Antoine Whitfield Jr. knocked it away. It was a real bang play.
I mean, you can call pass interference on almost every play. I didn't have really an opinion one way or another about it, to be honest with you. I mean, look, anytime that there's a game or there's a play in the final stretches of a really close game and a play has a game on the line, we're always going to nitpick it because you can always probably make a call almost on every play in football. I don't think there is such thing as a clean playing football.
Right.
I think, no, I think everything's magnified in those situations.
I think you go what was called on the field, and they actually called pass interference on the field, and they picked up the flag. And that emotion of me being a Tom Brady hater came out like, of course they picked up the flag. It's Tom Brady. They're not going to let Tom Brady not win this game on Monday night. So New York Football Giants, great effort on Monday night, but you're still in the bottom 5. And brand new to the bottom 5 at 28, the Texans. Deshaun Watson, I love you. Love you as a quarterback. Love you as a player. Love you as a human being, man. But y'all terrible. Like, at least you're excited to watch because your defense is that bad that you guys are running up and down the field scoring a lot of points. At least you got that going for you, but you're definitely one of the worst teams in the NFL.
Yeah, look, they set themselves up for failure when, you had the issues going on at the beginning of the season when they traded away Deshaun Hopkins. When they moved on from Hopkins, I don't get how, and again, that's when you had given him too much power up front. And now they've moved on from that coach. Now you have Romeo Crennel leading the way. It is what it is at this point. To go back to your point about the Jets, it was funny. The owner of the Jets comes out and announces that, Adam Gase is part of their plans, that he's part of what they're trying to accomplish this year. And of course, right away, the jokes basically write themselves. Yes, he is a part of it. He is coaching your team to a winless record so far. And if he's gotten you this far in the path to get a Trevor Lawrence, you know what? Let him complete the journey. You don't want to risk making a coaching change when most times when you make a coaching change, a lot of times teams play really inspired football for a small stretch. Let's be clear. When the Texans moved on from Bill O'Brien, what happened? The Texans won. Now it's their only win of the season.
Right.
But do you realize that had the Texans kept Bill O'Brien, that we would have the Texans and the Jets as the two winless teams in the NFL. The Texans only have one win.
Right.
If they don't, they got the only win of this. The only win on the season that the Texans have is after they fired Bill O'Brien, and that's what always happens. The team always plays inspired football when they, when they make a coaching change. So the Jets are actually the one thing that they're doing that is intelligent. We're bad for a reason. Why do we want to get better as far as that's concerned? So I'll give him that. The other thing I was going to bring up, Garrett Gilbert is being announced as the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys coming up this week against the Steelers. Now, what I found funny is that Mike McCarthy says today that the reason that they are benching Ben DiNucci is because they feel like with going up against a high-powered defense like the Steelers this weekend, that they don't feel like it's right to send a young quarterback like DiNucci out against them. You don't know how to tank, do you? Like, I'm not saying Garrett Gilbert's going to beat the Steelers. All I'm saying is if you know that Ben DiNucci can't handle it, that's why you throw him out there. You need him to go do what he does, and that's be bad. Well, you're at this point, Damian Woody, you talked about it. It is what it is. So it's interesting to me. But yeah, you don't know how to tank. If you're taking out your quarterback because you think he's not good enough to beat a team this weekend, you're not tanking right. Leave him in. Leave him in. My goodness.
Isn't Garrett Gilbert one of the many former starters for the Cleveland Browns?
There's a few former starting quarterbacks for the Browns, but yes, he got to go around. It was the year that Deshaun, I think it was part of the 0-16 year, if I'm not mistaken.
Ooh.
By the way, I saw some highlights the other night about the I saw some highlights of that from the Clemson Notre Dame game. The last time the two teams played, and Deshaun Kaiser was the quarterback for Notre Dame that year. So that, I was like, man, that seems like forever ago, but it wasn't that long ago as far as that goes. So that is Kev Nash's bottom 5. One more time: the Jets, Jaguars, Cowboys, Giants, and Texans. The Texans being the newest team to his bottom 5. But yeah, that's crazy. The Texans you have a number 28, but do you realize they've only won one game? There's a lot of one-win teams, but if they don't fire Bill O'Brien, they're probably 0-7, 0-6 or 0-7 right now. Come on.
Ouch.
That's close. All right, that's Kev Nash's bottom 5. Let's take a look at the top 5 for Kev Nash. Kev, that's your bottom 5. Who do you have in your top 5? Again, if you're live on Facebook, you can follow along. Head to Facebook, search The Justin Kinner Show. You'll be able to see the list for Kev Nash. I'll have my list coming up here in just a few moments. Here's the list for Kev Nash's top 5 following Week 8.
At number 5, the one, the only, Drew Brees. I rate Drew Brees about his arm being shot, but guess what? They're winning games.
Without Michael Thomas.
Yes.
They're only going to get better.
Yeah, they're winning games, and that's really what matters in this league is winning games. And they got a big matchup this week. First, my number 4 team. Welcome to the party. the Buccaneers. Even though they got an ugly win on Monday versus the terrible New York Giants, they still won, and they're winning. So this matchup between the Buccaneers and Saints this weekend, definitely can't wait for that. Obviously, the Saints won the first game, but I think Tampa Bay is going to win the next game. Number 3, Seattle Seahawks. They're back in action. They're back scoring a ton of points. Russell Wilson throwing it deep to DK Metcalf, to Tyler Lockett, like he's out here doing his thing. And actually, I think this is just a total guess. I think the addition of Carlos Dunlap is going to make them play some type of defense. You don't need to be the 85 Bears. You just need to be able to slow somebody down, force a punt every once in a while to get it back to your MVP caliber quarterback. Number two, my Pittsburgh Steelers, the only undefeated team in the NFL, second best team in the league. And number 1, the champs. Yes, they got a loss. The Steelers don't have a loss, but the champs are the best. And guess what? Everybody in the AFC, you're just playing for your chance to lose to the champs. Steelers included. You're not beating the champs. You're not beating them.
All right, so his Kev Nash's top 5 again. At number 1, he has the Kansas City Chiefs. His Pittsburgh Steelers come in at number 2. At number 3 is the Seahawks, right back up where they've pretty much been living for the whole season anyways. The Buccaneers crack your top 5 at number 4. And, of course, the New Orleans Saints get up into the top 5 action as well. Keep in mind the Saints, they just haven't looked as pretty as what we're accustomed to seeing from them offensively. But they've been without Michael Thomas. But, man, they're clicking. They're rolling. And they got a big one with the Bucs coming up. So it's just one of those. And is Michael Thomas back yet, by the way?
I don't think so. I got to know what's going on there, man.
Well, there was 2 weeks ago, there were articles. I had both of them printed out. We talked about them here on the show. The Saints, there were rumors and speculations behind the scenes that, not too long after the Saints gave him that record deal, we're already looking to move on from him. Woo. Signing record deals in the NFL doesn't keep you married to teams. Teams move on from those all the time. I mean, look at the Rams and Gurley. Gurley's on his second or third different team since the Rams when he left the first time. That's why when you talked about the Cowboys and Zeke Elliott, don't be surprised. Remember, I had the theory that, the Cowboys could potentially draft, Justin Fields and move on from Dak Prescott. The other thing they could do is pay Dak Prescott, even if it's the franchise deal or if they franchise tag him again, they could try to move on from Zeke and try to, replenish some money there and maybe get some draft picks. Because right now, that's what they're looking to do as far as that's concerned. So it'll be interesting. So that's Kev Nash's top 5, his bottom 5. Let's move on to mine, shall we? The Justin Kinner top 5 in the NFL. As far as that's concerned, let's take a look at that right now. I have the Steelers at number 1. Not just because they're undefeated, but because that defense, nothing comes close to that defense. The Buccaneers probably are a little close to that, but nothing comes close to that defense. Last year, that same defense, as we talked about earlier, took a team that was so embarrassingly bad offensively and led them to eight wins. Eight wins.
That's one of the things that I read these articles, and some people say, turnover luck. Like, they use this phrase, turnover luck. I don't think turnovers are luck. I think they're creating turnovers. This is going to be the second year in a row where they're out here causing fumbles left and right, getting interceptions. I don't think fumbles and interceptions are turnovers. I don't believe in turnover luck. These coaches are teaching these guys these things to strip sacks and play the ball in coverage one type of way. Like, you think that Tampa Bay had a pick 6 versus Aaron Rodgers off luck? Like, they shut Aaron Rodgers down because their defense played good ball and they picked him off fair and square. So I don't believe in turnover luck. This is one of those things where Pittsburgh, the thing that they do well is get pressure on the quarterback. But the thing that Patrick Mahomes does better than anybody is get the ball out of his hands fast. And that is going to be a recipe for disaster if they meet in the playoffs.
All right, so I have the Steelers at number 1. I have to keep the Chiefs at number 2, and I was really debating on what to do with the Buccaneers until I watched them the other night. Ron, it was funny on Facebook, Buccaneers fan Ron, basically Tampa fan Ron, because he's a Rays fan and Lightning, whatever he can get his hands on from Tampa as far as that's concerned. Ron, you're being awfully cocky for a guy that has a team that just narrowly escaped one of the worst teams in the National Football. I just want to throw that out there. But I have the Chiefs at number 2 because really they haven't even done anything to deserve falling from number 1, but that's just how good the Steelers look right now. I think that the Chiefs are the best offensive team in football. I know the numbers show that that's the Seahawks, but I think you take what the Chiefs are capable of doing, They have a defense. It's not the best in the league, but it's better than the Chiefs, or it's better than the Seahawks. That's why I have to have them at there. Steelers 1, Chiefs 2. I have to put the Buccaneers at number 3. I had them, I just added them, 2 weeks ago. As far as that goes, we can't deny how good this Buccaneers team is. I mean, they were good on paper. They've looked a little slow to start, but to be fair, they haven't had, we know how good this team looks on paper, but they haven't had all their weapons out.
Right.
They're going to have Antonio Brown this weekend. They announced that today. He will officially be in the lineup coming up this weekend. So we're going to get to see Tom Brady with all his new toys. Now, with that, there's been a lot of giving him the benefit of the doubt. He's looked good. He's looked really good. But when he's made some shaky decisions, it's he's getting to learn this team. Hey, that type of. But keep in mind, the more talent you put around him, the less forgiving fans are going to be, at least outside of the Tampa area. So we'll see how that works. I do have the Seahawks coming in at number 4. That score, what Russell Wilson's being able to do with that offense. But again, a very strange trade deadline. None of these teams tried to better themselves.
I just don't think it's nothing out there like what they need and what the Browns need. They need defense. They need linebackers. They need safeties. Who's out there? I don't think nobody's out there. I mean, they had Earl Thomas, back in the day and everything like that. So I guess the only deal that the Browns could have made, and they can make that today if they felt like it, they could sign Earl Thomas because he's a free agent. But I don't see anybody out there really trade worthy. I mean, heard J.J. Watt's name floating around. He's a pass rusher. He's not a guy in the middle of the action, in the middle linebacker stopping the run and everything like that. He's an edge player. So I just really don't think there was anything out there for the Seahawks to make or the Browns to make on the trade market.
There's always something out there. There's always something out there. There's a lot of teams right now, especially heading into an offseason where there's a lot of uncertainty as far as what teams are going to be willing to spend in free agency. A lot of teams are going to rely on getting better through the draft, and that's it. And that's whether you have multiple first-round picks or no first-round picks. The draft might be the only additions that a lot of these teams make to their rosters this coming up season, outside of the vet minimum guys. So I'm wondering, we're seeing in baseball where COVID didn't impact the 2020 baseball season. I mean, it did in regards to how they had to structurally build it to play during a pandemic. But the pandemic didn't impact the 2020 season financially outside of no fans in the stands. All of that impact is going to impact the teams next year. Same thing with football. Every time, every week, every football game that kicks off, every time that there's a game out on that field with little to no fans, that financial impact is not impacting them that night. It's impacting them come January, come February, come March, come the off season, come the draft. So to me, I think that's another reason you saw a lot of teams kind of stay pat a little bit as far as that's concerned. But I have the Seahawks at number 4 and the Packers at number 5. Yes, the Packers just lost. But look, the Packers aren't good enough to go 16-0, which means it's kind of foolish to sit there and say that we expect them to go 16-0. So I'm not going to overreact when a team loses, just like I'm not going to overreact when a team wins. But I'm not going to overreact when a team loses and bump them out of my top 5. I'm going to bump them down in my top 5, but I'm not going to bump them out of my top 5. Steelers 1, Chiefs 2, Buccaneers 3, Seahawks 4, and the Packers coming in at number 5. There really is not a lot of teams separating themselves. I mean, Pittsburgh, I think because they look solid offensively, not great, that's the only reason we're not saying that they've created a gap between them and everyone else. Kansas City looks good offensively, but defensively, some weeks they look a little soft. Then you have the Chiefs, or then you have the Saints. I'm sorry, I can't speak today. Then you have the Buccaneers, who are inconsistent on a game-to-game basis. The Seahawks, all offense, no defense. Packers look like Super Bowl contenders one week, and then they collapse. They're 2 bad losses this year to get blown out by Buccaneers. You could lose to them. You can't get blown out. Right. But you lose to the Vikings. That's a problem too. So
man, they need help desperately on linebacker levels, man. They're a team that should have made a Swiss cheese them on defense.
They should have at least explored options, but they historically never do.
Yeah.
All right, that's my top 5. One more time: Steelers, Chiefs, Bucks, Seahawks, and Packers. And now for the bottom 5.
Oh boy.
Number 32, the Cincinnati Bengals. No, I'm just joking. Just joking. Number 32, the New York Jets. Number 31, the Dallas Cowboys. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They are garbage. I mean, it is absolutely horrible. look, this isn't, and for one, Dak Prescott's getting way too much credit for, look at this team without him versus with them. It would be one thing if this team had some fight left in them and they just didn't have a quarterback to get him over the hump. This team has just quit.
Yeah, they quit.
This team, like Dak Prescott, they were playing better with him. And that maybe speaks to the leadership qualities that he has, that even with the dysfunction with the coaching staff, that the team felt like they were playing for Dak Prescott. But this team has just straight up quit. So they're not this bad because, Dak Prescott's not out on the field to lead them. They were losing with them. But this team has just straight up quit. And I'm not going to give them the benefit of the doubt due to injuries because effort can be there. You could still be trying. The Bengals were, before last week, 1-5-1 heading in to week 8. But they'd only got blown out once. They were in every single game. You could lose games and still be giving an effort. And the Bengals were giving an effort. They were losing by one possession every single week. They were trying. The Cowboys are just straight up damn embarrassing. I hate that the two teams in the NFL that I'm a fan of, they're the two teams that just give people more headaches than anybody else. So I have the Cowboys at number 31. The Jaguars, as you talked about too, again, our list is very similar. Minshew, I knew wasn't the answer for this team coming in. You were like, wait and see. We'll see. I didn't need to see. I knew Minshew wasn't the answer. But to be honest, the Jaguars aren't as bad as what they wanted to be. I think they wanted to be worse than what they are. I think they're mad that the Jets have kind of stolen their thunder a little bit. And I bet you the Jaguars are kicking themselves that they tried to beat the Dolphins earlier in the year. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is as far as that's concerned. But the Jaguars, one win on the year. I have them at number 30. The Giants, I don't care that they took it to the Buccaneers. That speaks more about the Buccaneers playing down to the level of their competition. A little bit of a trap game. They have the Saints coming up this weekend. It's tough to kind of, get up for the Giants. I think that's where, when you have empty stadiums, that's where you see some of the smaller teams have a chance to pounce on the bigger teams when those older veteran teams on a Monday night, and they got a big game with the Saints coming up, they got to create their own energy. That's where the Giants came into play. Daniel Jones just is not good. The Giants have a lot of question marks, too.
He is Eli Manning, but they don't have the talent around him because he can play, but he also can throw a ton of interceptions. Side note, I'm talking about love those 90s throwbacks they wore on Monday night. The white ones with the blue collar
the
on
actual
them.
Giants across the helmet.
I love those unis.
I'm with you. And the number 28 team, the Oakland Raiders. The Las Vegas Raiders. That team looks so bad. I'm just joking. I have the Texans at number 28 for the first time. For the first time, I do not have your Cincinnati Bengals in my bottom 5. They will be, though, probably after the Steelers game. But I'm just saying they are out of the bottom 5 for right now. The Texans, there's no excuse at this point. I mean, let's be clear. Everyone always says, like, if you have a quarterback, if you have a real quarterback, he's good for at least 3 to 4 wins in a year. And right now, and this isn't a shot at Deshaun Watson, I just think if you have a quarterback, he's good enough to get you 3 to 4 wins in a year. But he has so little help around him that he can't even lead this to 3 to 4 wins as far as that's concerned. So I have the Texans in my bottom 5, which is something I was not expecting. I thought that division was going to be a lot more competitive, and it kind of is. I mean, you have the Titans and the Colts, but we thought that the Texans were going to be up there battling for 9 or 10 wins. We thought the Colts would be good enough to win 8 to 10 games, and we knew the Titans were good enough to win anywhere between 10 to 12. So very interesting division as far as that's concerned. Still competitive at the top, but the Texans are nowhere close to what we were expecting. And that is our bottom 5. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. David Shaw says, yes, AB will be in the lineup and everyone will see he's old and no longer a threat. I don't. Why do you? I guess I'm just curious why you say that, because there has been nothing to indicate that he has lost his step. Hell, even in the one game he played in last year, I mean, that Patriots offense, we saw how bad it was throughout the season last year and how it just absolutely stunk in the playoffs last year. The one game he did play, I mean, he caught a touchdown right off the bat. Even with all the distractions, you saw that he made an immediate impact. I think he's going to make an immediate impact right here. I think he's going to make an immediate impact right away. I still think Antonio Brown will probably, by the end of the season, once he gets a couple games under his belt, you're going to see he's going to be top 3 wide receiver in the National Football League, no doubt about it. Tom Brady's going to help him. The weapons around him are going to help him because you got to decide who you want to, put some heavy coverage on. I mean, you're going to have Godwin and other guys too. So I think it's the perfect storm for him to go and pick up where he left off. I don't think he's lost a step at all, Kev. Do you?
I don't know. I really want to see how he looks out there, but let's not get this confused, man. It's kind of like you just said. If you match AB up on a linebacker or a safety, he's going to score. That's a plain and simple. So let's just say he's not the AB of old. Let's just say he's not the AB that was basically ranked the number 2 player in the NFL when he was putting up crazy numbers with Big Ben and Pittsburgh and all that type of stuff. You still got Godwin out there. You still got Gronk out there. You still got Mike Evans out there.
Yep.
You still got a ton of other guys out there that you have to shade coverage over. So if you're really going to leave AB, Antonio Brown, who's a Hall of Fame wide receiver, on a linebacker in the slot, it's a touchdown. It's just that simple. I mean, and they got the guy Scotty Miller working that slot position right now. So say if they go 4 wide, you telling me you're going to put your 4th corner or a linebacker on Antonio Brown? No. And he's going to be working those underneath routes now.
Yep.
It's not he doesn't have to be Antonio Brown of old. He doesn't have to be, because he's still good enough to do those things.
And no, that's a great point too, because this is why I didn't want him when the rumors are coming out that the Seahawks. And by the way, Shaw was adamant that the Seahawks were going to get Antonio Brown.
I thought they were too.
Yeah, and we all did.
I had Ravens, Seahawks. I didn't see this coming with Tampa Bay. I really didn't.
But this honestly makes more, not just because it's a stacked roster. This made the most sense for Antonio Brown because of the reasons you just said. I thought it was going to be a mistake to go to Seattle because he was going to be expected to be the guy, although there are good weapons in Seattle, but he would have automatically been their number one. He doesn't have to be the number one in Tampa. I think he's ultimately going to be the number one in Tampa because he's that talented. I mean, look, when he was, you could say that about anyone when they're healthy, how good they are, but there was good. And then there was Antonio Brown good. There's a reason that every time a team dropped him, someone was right there to pick him up until the problems got too bad off the field. But teams were willing to overlook. The Patriots were willing to overlook the noise for a guy that does not fit the Patriot way model because he's that good. When you are that good, teams will overlook your flaws and they will force a square peg into a round hole. The problem is he was too square and they were too round as far as that goes. His problems caught up with him a little too much. I don't see a scenario how this doesn't work unless it's not going to be a skilled thing that's going to lead to it not working. It's going to be to an attitude as far as that is concerned. Ron Howard says on Facebook, that's what they said about Gronk. Look, Gronk is not Gronk. Ron, let's just be clear. He doesn't have to be. And that's one reason they went and got Gronk. They didn't need him to come in to be the best tight end in football. They just needed him to come in and be a veteran presence that Tom Brady had some familiarity with within an offense. And you can't compare Gronk and Antonio Brown. Gronk, when he left the league, was not the best tight end in football.
Right.
When Antonio Brown left, you can argue that he was the best receiver in football. So I think you can't compare the two. They're completely different.
And the thing about Gronk is they're doing exactly what they did with him in New England. Once they get inside the 10-yard line, they split him out as a wide receiver. Touchdown.
Yep.
It's the same thing, man. So he doesn't have to be the guy going across the middle anymore, getting blasted anymore. He's basically a run blocker right now. Okay. But when we get inside that red zone, ball's going to 87. Touchdown. They're going to the Super Bowl. It's going to be KC and Tampa Bay.
Patrick Mahomes versus TV. Tampa. We got our guy Jerry on hold, right?
Yes.
So
he wants to talk to you desperately.
So fans have been,
phone lines back open, baby.
The phone lines are back open. Remember, I purposely cut the phone lines back on Monday because I didn't want to hear from you crybaby Bengals fans. I didn't want to hear from Gentleman. I didn't want to hear from Jerry. I didn't want to hear from any of you. But I've had a couple days to let it kind of digest a little bit. So we're going to hit the ground running. Jerry's waiting on hold. He's a big Raiders fan. And he even told me Sunday when he came out to the Sunday morning tailgate show at Frickers, he said, if the Raiders win, you're going to hear from me. So there you go. Jerry, we'll take his call when we come back. Don't go anywhere.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
This afternoon will be clear, sunny, and windy with a high near 68. Tonight is going to be partly cloudy with a low around 48. And tomorrow will be partly cloudy with a high near 65. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Hey, what do you want to da-da-da? I don't know. What do y'all think we should da-da-da? Well, what did we do yesterday? Yesterday. Oh, the dolls feel like the same doll these days. I know. Like, is today Monday or Tuesday? Today is Thursday. Oh, no, I forgot to call my mom on her birthday. Oh, no.
These days, nothing is normal and everything is weird. But you could still save big when you switch to Progressive. That won't change. Not today or any day.
Quote today at Progressive.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
You decided to upgrade your outdoor deck. So you ordered the essentials. A power washer, a set of patio chairs, and a shiny new grill. And you used your Bank of America Cash Rewards credit card, choosing to earn 3% cash back on online shopping and up to 5.25% as a preferred rewards member, which you put towards your most essential deck addition, a bird feeder. Apply for yours at bankofamerica.com/more rewarding. Copyright 2020 Bank of America Corporation.
Javier's Auto Body is colliding with a shortage of licensed techs.
That 2017 is waiting on a clear coat, that 09 needs its left rear sanded, pounded, and painted, and the guy over there is waiting on an estimate.
It's time to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. The moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Indeed delivers 2.5 times more hires than the other branded job sites combined, according to Breezy HR 2019. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first job post.
The Support Local Business $1,000 a day giveaway cash contest is a company-wide contest for your chance to win $1,000 daily. No purchase necessary to enter or win. You will receive an email confirming entry. One winner will be chosen for each day. Contest is open to U.S. residents 18 years or older. Contest is sponsored by participating Alpha Media and other participating stations. Aptivada or their parents, subsidiary, and affiliated entities, advertising agencies, promotional partners, and members of families or households are not eligible to enter or win. Odds of winning depend on number of entries received. Contest is subject to all applicable federal, state, and local laws and regulations. Void where prohibited. Participants must sign all contest release and waiver forms to be eligible to win the prize. The contest begins on April 4th, 2020 and ends on Friday, May 8th, 2020. To participate in the contest, you must listen to the participating radio station at the specified times and enter the word that wins at wingam.com. Contest sponsors are not responsible for technical failures or malfunctions of any kind. For full contest rules, please visit wingam.com. Decisions of station management with respect to the contest are final.
If you need new roofing, siding, or gutters, skylights, or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding in Fairborn has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Lance Roofing and Siding, 8460 Dayton Springfield Road in Fairborn. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722 or online at lanceroofing.com.
Welcome to another Fantastic Four golf hole experience with the Buy Golf for Half Bogey Boys.
Me and the boys are in Miamisburg, Ohio today at the classic Arthur Hills designed Pipestone Golf Club. Pipestone is one of the most popular courses in the Miami Valley, and it's in fantastic condition. It's a beautiful golf course. We're at the tee on the 6th hole. It's a par 5 and one of the most beautiful holes in the entire course. You need to come out to Pipestone and see it for yourself. Unfortunately for me, though, there is trouble all over this hole, and I'm in it. When I finally see the fairway, I have a downhill lie, and I'm staring at an elevated green. I'm not up to the task, though, unfortunately. 3 shots later, I'm in the cup with a double bogey 7. No reason to be upset, though. I mean, there's another beautiful and challenging golf hole ahead. You should get your pals together, book a tee time, and come out and play Pipestone. Stay tuned for more Fantastic Four golf hole experiences with the Buy Golf for Half Bogey Boys. See you at the next hole.
Visit buygolfforhalf.com for half-price golf packages from Pipestone and other great local golf courses around the Miami Valley.
Don't put it off any longer. You know it's time. Time for a bathroom upgrade by Bath Creations. Bath Creations, serving the greater Dayton and Cincinnati area, is a leader in bathroom renovations, providing the best value in bath and shower remodeling, and proudly made in the USA. With Bath Creations, you get a beautiful modern bathroom that is safe, comfortable, and affordable. Attention first responders, veterans, and active military. Save $500 off your purchase. Visit on Poe Avenue in Dayton or online at mybathcreations.com and upgrade today.
Hi, Joey Beckett here at Buckeye Ford in Sydney, home of the Works package and the double take tire specials. Call today for your appointment, 937-419-8473 or 1-800-700-0050. Buckeye Ford in Sydney, exit 92 off of I-75. We'll see you soon.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So what do you provide? Cookie cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Staples helps your business go big with everything you need at amazing prices. From office essentials like paper and ink to health essentials like masks and sanitizer. Save big at Staples.
Don't miss the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Weekdays at 3 p.m. on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.
So you want to talk about outliers? Those guys are outliers. You're lucky that this thing's separating us. That's all I got to say. For facts, though. I got your facts right here.
Listen, stream, and now watch. Search the Justin Kinner Show on Facebook to follow along. On Twitter, make sure to give us a follow. Search 1410 Kinner for Justin Kinner on Twitter. That's 1410 KINNER and ESPN Dayton for the station Twitter handle.
All right, and we are back. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here. Now, I am sporting the Bengals jersey today. I lost the bet last week. Doug Toby, I hope you're still watching. Let me make sure, there we go. Camera's right on. I'm wearing the Bengals jersey. That's a 2X. I'm a big dude, but I ain't 2X. But I'm making it work.
Where's the medium at?
He said, Doug Toby, there he is right there. He says, you look good in stripes. You look 15 pounds lighter. Maybe I should keep wearing the 2XL jerseys moving forward. So here you go. For all you Bengals fans out there, I just, follow. It is what it is. Got it? You good?
I got my pictures.
Yeah, we're good.
Blackmail you later.
Last week, I, of course, was very confident that the Browns were going to beat the Raiders. I was very confident that the Bengals were going to not just lose, but I said double digits. They were going to lose double digits to the Titans. Well, not only did they not lose by double digits to the Titans, they beat the Titans. And not only did they beat the Titans, they beat the Titans by double digits, 31-20, the final. My goodness. I could not have been any more wrong. And I'm used to being wrong. I'm wrong all the time, Kev.
I know.
I don't like this, I'm going to get a Browns. I'm going to wear the Browns jersey tomorrow just to kind of even this out as far as that's concerned. But yes, if you're tuning in and you see, and we're live on Facebook and live on Twitter as well, at 1410 Kinner, KINNER on Twitter. And then, of course, you could search the Justin Kinner Show on Facebook and watch that way. But yes, so Sunday was just a bad day. I was all excited. I was gearing up because my birthday was on Monday, and I thought I was going to get to laugh at the Bengals and brag about the Browns being 6-2 heading into the bye week. But then the receivers for the Browns decided to not show up and play. We still got him on hold.
He is.
Raiders fan Jerry, how are you, sir?
Oh, I'm doing much better than I was, say, Saturday night or Sunday morning, that's for sure.
No, not hungover?
No. Monday was a beautiful day. It was just beautiful. Well, let's get a couple things straight.
Let's.
I was not going to blame the Browns' loss on Baker Mayfield. Your take on what I was going to say yesterday was completely wrong. As usual. First of all, Kev Nash, congratulations to your Steelers, brother.
Thank you.
Now, Justin.
Don't be nice. He was laughing. He was laughing. Don't be nice to him and to congratulate. He was laughing.
Because he knows I'm going to make some sense. So let's keep it real. Your team lost because your defense is softer than Sherman.
Yes. Okay. I'll agree with you on that. No arguments here.
Everybody and their brother knew we were going to run the ball in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
We were playing with a backup left guard and a third string right tackle that every Raider fan knows cannot play in this league. And we still held you guys to 6 possessions the entire game. By the way, that hasn't happened in 30 years to a team. We held the ball 38 minutes. It was Josh Jacobs left carrying 3 Browns for 5 yards. It was Josh Jacobs right carrying 4 Browns for 4 yards. It was Josh Jacobs up the middle carrying 2 Browns for 8 yards. We were running on 3rd and 10 and getting first downs. So let's not pretend it was anything other than our offensive line with backups in it dominating your defense.
And
Your defense looked like they wanted to play two-hand touch, not tackle. If I was the coaching staff, I would make them wear skirts for the next 2 weeks when in practice because they were just horrible. That's why you lost that game. And in the weather conditions there were on Sunday, Joe Montana wouldn't have looked good. So you can't put that on Baker. Okay? By the way,
you done?
If my team is so bad,
they are.
How come we're the only team in the league that has at least 3 wins against teams that have 5 wins?
You're 4-3.
We have 3 wins against teams that have at least 5 wins.
Who's
the Saints, the Saints, the Chiefs, and your Browns. Well, you're right. We probably shouldn't really count the Browns because we have more wins than those 3 games. The 3 5-win plus teams we beat have more wins than every team you've beaten this year. So let's keep it real.
We're keeping it real.
Keep. When you're talking about my team, we're not going to win the Super Bowl.
You sound like a Bengals fan right now. You're 4-3. You have a good record. You're above 500. You don't have more wins than the Browns. Browns are 5-3. You're 4-3. You lost to the Patriots.
We pushed you guys around Sunday, so I can talk smack.
You're our bad loss. The Patriots are your bad loss. So there you go.
Dude, you haven't played anybody. Your bad loss ain't to Baltimore and Pittsburgh.
So your team's so great, but we haven't. So hold up, we haven't played anybody, but your team's so great. I just want to make sure we're on the same page here. That doesn't make any sense.
No, my team's
you can't sit
garbage.
here and talk about how great your team is, and then say, "Well, you haven't beat anybody."
No, my team's. I'm just making the point. My team's better than your team.
Huh?
Come on, Kev Nash, tell him. I mean,
they won.
You have Nick Chubb. You have Austin Hooper.
Were we missing 2 pro bowlers on the offensive line?
What? Listen.
That's because
that Browns team, you get Nick Chubb back. They're going to look like a completely different team. You get Austin Hooper back. Look like a completely different team. You beat a Browns team without OBJ, without Nick Chubb, without Austin Hooper, without Taylor.
You were missing 2 Pro Bowl
That's fantastic. That's super.
Line.
And you still dominated a bad defense. What's your point?
Right. Which means my team is better than yours. Obviously.
Oh, okay. We're talking about who's the taller short person here. I mean, my goodness, what are you really winning? What are you really winning as far as that's concerned?
True. I'm just saying, anytime you're going to crack on my team, you need to make sure that you crack on your team.
Is your team ever going to take that next step and actually go somewhere? I mean, my goodness. This Raiders team, I mean, I've never seen a coach that takes over a team. I've never seen a coach take over a team. Stefanski has done more with the Browns in his first year than what Gruden has done with the Raiders in going on 3 years now? Is Gruden ever going to do something that actually takes this team to that next level? I've never seen a coach that gets so much time just to be very mediocre, and that's what the Raiders are. They're very mediocre. I mean, my goodness, every other coach gets about 1.5 years before everyone's ready to move on. Your coach hasn't proven anything in the 2.5 years he's been here. So what's going on in old Las Vegas?
Did your team get pushed around Sunday or not? Yes or no?
Oh, we're going to go back to that. No, they lost 16-6, and the way you made it sound with how great your offense was, how much they moved the ball, you only put 16 points up on the damn board. So please tell me about how great you. Oh my goodness!
More than twice than what you put up.
Yes. So, wow, those math classes really helping you out. You've been able to figure out that 16 is more than 6. Congratulations! Yeah,
more than twice as much.
Wow, my goodness! 6 times 2 is 12 plus that. Man, my goodness! Raiders are going to the Super Bowl.
No, I didn't say that.
But so good.
We're going farther than you are.
Okay, that's like saying that you could beat me in a foot race. What the hell does that have to do with anything?
Again, you have no reason to talk smack about my team going forward because you guys are obviously worse than we are. So let's just keep that in mind when you're going forward talking about my team. Okay?
Okay. Sounds good, Jerry. You take care.
All right, guys.
Adios.
Later. A little hostility there.
No hostility.
A little hostility, man.
No hostility. When Browns are 5-3, they should be 6-2. They're going to be healthy coming out of the bye week, and they'll be rolling. It'll be fine. I ain't worried. I'm really not worried. I don't know which fan base is more delusional. Bengals or the Raiders. Two delusional fan bases. I'm telling you, the Browns defense is garbage. I never once tried to come on here and say that the Browns defense was not garbage.
They do got some impressive wins, though.
They do. But again, Gruden can't seem to be able to lock up whatever he gets out of him one week. He can't seem to get out of him the next week. And I hate that Jason Fitz compared Baker Mayfield to Carr because he's, you never know what you're going to get as far as that's concerned. Hold up. David Shaw says, he's hostile because Jerry had his lunch. What in the blue hell does that even had his lunch? What does that mean? Like, I hear old people refer to that all the time. Like, I'm going to, you better pack your own lunch. I'm going to pack. What does that even mean? Is that like a thing?
I don't know.
He because Jerry had his lunch. First of all, I don't share my lunch.
Bullied you, maybe.
Do you think? I don't know. Is that like a bullying thing? Bullying's wrong. I would never.
You would know.
I would never.
The way you talk to our callers.
Jerry's fine. Jerry's fine.
Hey, can I hear?
And I'm gonna pull this card here, okay? How I talk to them, I'm gonna sound like the biggest child in the world here, but they started. This is the thing. So the other day, I forgot.
Really say
yes.
That?
Like, for instance, Ann. Remember Ann on Facebook the other day? I'm sure she's a nice lady.
She lit you up.
She came swinging. And I'm supposed to say, okay, thank you, have a great day. Maybe I am, but I'm not. So I'm going to be a child. You're mean to me, I'm mean to you. That's how I roll. I don't care. I don't care. You act like people are calling, man, Justin, you're the best. I really like your show. Man, the Browns, they just couldn't pull it off the other day. Shut up. The Browns are fine. Don't worry about it. Like, that's what you guys hear. You guys are unbelievable. If you go back and listen to tape, film study, I'm never mean first.
We got the whole tape right here.
I'm never mean first. David Shaw says, we started, you are delusional. No, David Shaw, you sit there for 3 hours a day and literally try to nitpick every little tiny thing I or Kev say. And then whenever I go back at you, you get your panties all in a wad and you say, oh my God, stop going off on me. Pick on someone else. Blah, 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 blah. Verbatim.
Do I recall on Friday you making this little number right here?
Well, yeah, I'm partway.
Didn't on Friday you make that?
Yes.
I like your
We started the show with that.
We started the show with that. You know why I made that? Do you know why I made that?
What if I told?
Do tell.
I made that. I made the 30 for 30 because I have a lot of pent-up hostility. That's fine. Going back to 2 years ago, Baker Mayfield's rookie year.
Years ago.
Baker Mayfield's rookie year. I got excited about Baker Mayfield's rookie year.
Mm-hmm.
And I had every Bengals fan in this city, all 10 of them, tell me that Baker hasn't done anything yet, that Baker hasn't won anything yet, that Baker hasn't proved anything yet. And I had to take it. I had to deal with it. And every week, Baker, he did lead them to 7 wins, which is 7 more wins than they had the previous year, at 0-16. So I felt pretty good about where Baker was taking the 0-16 Browns. And every week, no matter how good of a game he would have, Kev, 27 touchdowns, broke Peyton Manning's passing touchdown record as a rookie, no matter how good he played. He hadn't won anything. He hasn't accomplished anything. Oh, you're just a dumb Browns fan. You guys haven't been to the playoffs. Blah, 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 blah. The same old stuff that you hear every week. So now I've been waiting. I've just been waiting because the Cincinnati Bengals are the Cleveland Browns now, who have their quarterback, and they're excited. And then when Kinner decides to say, hey, you know what? He hasn't won anything. And in fact, Baker won more than Joe B.
Season not over.
Stop.
Season not over.
He's not winning 7 games.
Season not over.
See, that's how much of a loser both fan bases are. I'm literally getting defensive saying that he's not going to touch our total wins in Baker's first year of 7. That's how it's crazy. So no, I don't start it. They started it 2 years ago, and I'm here to finish
the show with a 30 for 30.
But no. That's how the show started. But don't act like the hostility only stems from 3 to 6 weekdays right here on Dayton's ESPN radio station 1410 Wing AM, which you can subscribe and download to the show in your Apple iTunes and Google Play Store.
Go to break, man.
No, here's Ann. I love Ann now. Ann says, Justin, sometimes you are a real ass, but I love you just the same. And I love you too.
The show is off the rails.
Ann and I have this love-hate relationship. I've never met her, but for years, one day she can't stand me, the next day she's not. Ann, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. So I'll take that down now.
Come see him on Sunday at Frickers.
Yes, as far as that's concerned. Yeah. Oh, no, that's not what I meant. All right, folks. All right. Okay. All right. It is what it is. Hold on. Doug Toby says, you probably own stock in the Troll Pub.
Oh, my gosh, man. What is going on?
Let's see. There's more coming in. Mark Abshire says, bull butter, JK, you blast off first on my Bengals. No, I do not. Maybe now I do, but it didn't start out that way. It's the Bengals.
It's a bye week. Have a truce.
The Bengals fans created this, though. They created this. You can't. Let me reset. I'm going to say it calmer so you can get it. 2 years ago, all I did was crack the mic. I remember it was a Thursday night football game. I remember exactly what happened. It was the Bengals and it was the Ravens. It was like a Thursday night football game. Okay, or maybe it was Monday night. Either way, it was not on Sunday. It was a Monday. It was the Kinner and Schlemmer show. Mm-hmm. And Schlemmer and I were like, you know what? Tonight will be fun. The Bengals are on primetime television. There'll be plenty to talk about. It's either going to be the fans talking about how they have no faith in the team to win in primetime. Remember, that seemed like ages ago back when that was the team's concern. And we were excited because we were going to get to talk Bengals. We were going to take a lot of Bengals calls. Bengals primetime. We should be talking a lot. Well, guess what? No Bengals calls. There was no energy. So I went off. I said the Bengals fans are the worst fan base out there. How could your team be playing primetime? How can your team be playing primetime and no fan care about the game? I said this is why the Browns are a better fan base, because they stick with their team no matter what. Like, they don't just, they cheer for their team when they're good and when they're bad. This team, this fan base disappears. And what was funny is that very previous weekend, I have a Jay Morrison tweet that popped up in my Facebook memories the other day that was talking about how the Bengals fans were booing their team running off the field. And I got done saying, oh, it's such a great, classy fan base right there. And everyone was ripping me for that. I have a laundry list. So that night, okay, Bengals Ravens, prime time. Bengals go up like 28-0 or 28-12 or whatever it was. Andy Dalton had like 3 or 4 touchdown passes to A.J. Green in like the first half, and they looked unstoppable. They didn't score a point in the second half, and the Ravens came back. They did beat the Ravens, but they won like 28-24 or something. Like the Ravens like dominated the second half, and they nearly lost it. So I came back the next day because I'd had enough of Andy Dalton because he looked absolutely garbage in the second half. I said, you know what? Baker Mayfield, who's not even starting yet, is the second best quarterback in the AFC North. I said, because what I've seen from him is not good. Everyone said, oh, no, how trash Baker is. Baker gets that. He gets to come in against the Jets that week. He leads the Jets to a win. Baker Mania is born, baby. And I spent the next year and a half on the airwaves just being absolutely destroyed. Anytime Baker would do something good. He threw for 300 yards. Why not 301? He threw for 4 touchdowns. Why not 5 touchdowns? He won the game 35-27. How come not 36-27? No matter what he did, it wasn't good enough. Because what did he win? He hadn't won anything. He hadn't done anything. But this year, Kevin, now all of a sudden, it don't matter. We know we got our guy. We got our guy. And you do. You do. But like I said, you started it. I'm wearing this stupid jersey now because Bengals fans make dumb bets and I lose. Because of freaking Baker Mayfield.
How's it a dumb bet if they win?
Every bet's dumb that you lose. Every bet is great that you win. Have you ever lost a bet and said, oh, man, that was a great bet? No. Every bet, if you win, you're like, man, that was awesome. And the train is whatever.
We are off the track, man.
Yeah, Mark Abshire says, you cursed your team, JK, counting them future wins. I'm counting them already, 10 wins. I said 12, but it's going to be 10 now. All right. I've ignored your 5 exit cues for a while now.
Yes.
I think me and Ann are okay now. Justin, sometimes you are a real ass, but I love you just the same. So there you go. See, you worry about I'm too mean to people. We all get each other. It's like a family.
Dysfunctional.
Oh, hold up. More from Ann. Hold on. Ann says, actually, Justin, I'm a Bronco fan, transplanted here by my husband's military service. Thank you. Thank him for his service as well. And
Drew Lock, my guy, Drew Lock.
And right now, probably more of a bandwagon Steeler fan. Remember Big Ben from Miami. So, Ann, you're going to love Kev. Kev's a big Steelers fan.
Hey, Ann. What's up? And I'm a big Drew Lock fan. Me and Ann, we like this now.
She called me an ass, so of course you like her even more now. No, Ann's awesome. We're good now. See, we're all friends again. Now we're going to go to commercial break. We're all just like a big happy family. We're going to head into hour number 3. I'm going to take this Bengals jersey off. We're going to reset. Going to reset? Maybe. All right. David Shaw says open the phone lines. We'll open them. They're open. Give us a call. 457-9464. Hour 3 next.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash.
Justin, you're awesome, baby.
Right here on 1410 ESPN Radio.
At Shell, we know from the time you get up to the time you wrap up,
Good night.
there's a lot of meetups, eat-ups, and hurry-ups. So come to Shell and get 3 things done at once. Fill up with Shell V-Power Nitro Plus to help keep your engine running like new. Save up with the Fuel Rewards program and never pay full price for gas again. And snack up with in-store rewards to save even more at the pump. Make the most of the stop you need to make with Shell and engines that continuously use Shell V-Power Nitro Plus premium gasoline. See full terms and conditions at fuelrewards.com.
For the one standing guard. For the eagle-eyed. For the knights in shining armor. And for all those who support them. We are Grainger, your experienced safety partner, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, committed to helping keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com/safety, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
T-Mobile for Business knows saving time and money is important for your business. That's why we're introducing Microsoft 365 on us, now included in our best business plans. With Office apps, Microsoft Teams, cloud storage, and more, Microsoft 365 on us gives you the tools you need to run your business. Stop by a T-Mobile store today. Qualifying plan required. Contact us to activate. 1 license per line, max 2 per account. Third-party terms apply. See T-Mobile.com for plan details.
There's an underdog story happening today in America. Small businesses are fighting to make a comeback, but in the moment they have the least, they're giving the most. They're rallying communities and neighborhoods, yet asking for little in return. Well, it's time we gave back. Small Unites is making it simple for everyone to take action and support the small businesses that unite us all. Find out how you can donate, shop, and share today at smallunites.org.
Let's be there for them.
My husband, Alex Hussey, was hit by an IED in Afghanistan.
I was point man on foot patrol and I stopped on the bomb. Lost my legs and left hand in an explosion.
DAV helps veterans of every generation to get the benefits they've earned.
To see Alex learning to snow ski, that's life-changing.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories great and small.
This has meant so much. Thank you, DAV.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Of course we can help you with that oil change. Doing it yourself is a great way to save some money. Right now you can get 5 quarts of Pennzoil high mileage motor oil and an STP oil filter for just $27.99. And we've got even more ways to get it. Just order online with our next day delivery or free same day store pickup. Getting the job done just got easier. Restrictions at AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Hi, Buckeye fans. It's Jane Newton, owner of Call It Propane. Fall and football are in the air. No better time of year. As you prepare for another tailgate season, we prepare for fall and winter propane deliveries. At Call It Propane, we are still doing what we've done well for 65 years. Since 1952, Call It has offered fair and competitive pricing, after-hours emergency service, help when you can't wait, no delivery fees, payment plans, local community involvement, and 3 convenient locations. Call us today for all your propane needs or find us on the web at callitpropane.com. Go Bucks!
Cordell Transportation is now hiring for brand new home daily dedicated lanes. Earn up to $1,620 per week. A $2,000 sign-on bonus, medical, dental, vision, company paid life insurance. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com.
Don't miss Lowe's Provember event, because this month we're saying thanks to our pros in a big way. We have deals on go-to brands like DeWalt, Spyder, and Metabo HPT. During Provember, now through November 25th, you can buy one DeWalt 20-volt Max XR Power Detect tool and get one Bear tool free. We also have credit options to help keep your business moving. Shop in store or at lowesforpros.com/Provember. Lowe's, the new home for pros. Offer valid 10/29 through 11/25. See store for details while supplies last. U.S. only.
Allstate now has deeper savings, and deeper savings require deep thoughts and a deep voice, like mine. Save for being a new customer. Save more for adding DriveWise, and save even more for driving safely. Visit Allstate.com or contact your local agent for a quote today. As someone once said, saving today is money tomorrow. That's deep.
Not available in every state. New customer savings based on early signing discount. DriveWise is an optional feature. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Northbrook, Illinois.
Listen to this radio station on the radio.com app. Discover and enjoy your favorite music, news, and talk radio from live stations across the country. Listen anywhere on all mobile and home devices with the radio.com app.
Menards has everything you need to make your home a better place to live. Eliminate musty odors with a Damp Rid Moisture Absorber. They're perfect for basements, attics, closets, and more. Right now, all Damp Rid products are 11% off. Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Good through November 7th. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
All those mouths to feed. So many different cravings.
In a world filled with endless dinner options, lives a family ravaged by hunger. The answer lies with one man. No, not just a man, a king, a pizza king.
Get a large Casano's Deluxe Pizza for $15.99 or a large pepperoni for just $12.99. Call 294-KING and see for yourself why the proof is in the taste.
Pizza King.
If you're driving less, you could be saving more on car insurance. Save money with pay-per-mile insurance from Allstate. Call a local Allstate agent and get a quote.
Napa know-how.
At Napa, you can get 20% off 3 or more items with a $4.99 Napa tool bag. Yep, 20% off power tools, 20% off wipers, 20% off oil, and more. It's a whole bag of tricks. Well, actually, it's one trick over and over again, but it's a good one, saving you 20% on 3 or more items. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating locations, exclusions apply. May not be combined with other offers. Offer ends 11/30/20.
You have to be up in 5 hours, 2 hours, 6 minutes. And when you hear, you realize that you haven't slept a wink. That's why there's ZzzQuil Pure Z's, a drug-free blend of botanicals with an optimal dose of melatonin, so you can fall asleep naturally with no next-day grogginess. It's available in both liquid and gummies, tastes great, and is non-habit forming. Pick up ZzzQuil Pure Z's from the sleep experts at Vicks ZzzQuil. ZzzQuil Pure Z's, naturally superior sleep. Available at retailers near you.
An important message from former Ohio State football coaches Urban Meyer and Jim Tressel about Ohio's fight against COVID-19.
There are moments in life when all the greats are tested.
But they persevere, adapt, and never, ever give up.
Ohio, that's you. You've saved countless lives and slowed the spread.
But we can't let up. We need to stick to our game plan because we know it works.
That way we can return to doing all the things we love and enjoy.
With our families and our friends.
Infection rates and hospitalizations are rising across Ohio, in our big cities and our small towns. Please wear masks in public, especially when you go inside. Practice social distancing and be careful even in small social gatherings. Don't let your guard down. Don't let the virus spread.
Ohio, when we stick together, we always win.
It's up to all of us.
This message is brought to you by the Ohio Department of Health.
It's time for some straight talk. Look, we all drop our phones. It happens. You fumble it, crack it, splash it. Well, Straight Talk Wireless now offers this new Platinum Unlimited plan that includes phone protection. Just $65 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data, plus 20 gigs of hotspot, 100 gigs of cloud storage, and more. All on the best network. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. See Mobile Protect terms and conditions at Asurion.com/Straight Talk. Limitations and exclusions apply.
O'Reilly.
When you need auto parts, O'ReillyAuto.com is just a few clicks away. We offer convenient options for you to get your parts quickly. Order online and pick up for free at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store. We'll even bring it out curbside. Or you can have your parts delivered right to your door with free shipping on most orders over $35. Visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
If you're driving less, you could be saving more on car insurance. Save money with Paper Mile Insurance from Allstate. Call a local Allstate agent and get a quote.
Hey everybody, it's Stephen A. Smith, and everyone knows my feelings on Cowboys fans. But really, Justin Kenner, you're a Cowboys fan and a Browns fan? Good Lord have mercy. I don't know what the hell to do with y'all. I really don't.
It's the Justin Kenner Show with Kev Nash. Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Whether you're at home, at work, or in your car, tune in to ESPN 1410 Wing AM or stream us live at wingam.com. We are Dayton's home of the Ohio State Buckeyes.
And into the end zone goes Chris Olave. KJ Hill, 6-yard touchdown catch. Right sideline and down he goes to the end zone.
WING 1410 Dayton, Dayton's ESPN Radio. It's the Justin Kenner Show, live here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM. Tweet the show at 1410 Kenner or give us a call at 457-9464. We now send you to the Wing Studios in Kettering. Here's your host, Justin Kenner.
All right, and we are back. Justin Kenner, Kev Nash with you here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. According to Adrian Wojnarowski, according to sources, player reps are expected to approve a December 22nd tip-off date, start date, to the 2020-2021 NBA season.
Wow.
The NBA Finals, of course, just wrapped up in early October, or late November, or I'm sorry, Mid-October. My bad. I'm all over the place as far as it's November. How the hell is it November? Like Thanksgiving's here in a few weeks.
Bruh.
Holy smokes, man. But yeah, it's like the NBA season just wraps up. And right now, again, according to this article from Adrian Wojnarowski, it says that the NBA's Board of Governors and Players Association will hold separate meetings on Thursday, which is expected to culminate with an agreement on starting the 2021 season on December 22nd and playing a reduced 72-game schedule. The NBA, so the Players Association is planning to take a formal vote of the team player representatives on Thursday. And right now it looks like everything is progressing towards that. My thing is this. If you're gonna, everyone said the dream start date for the NBA would be Christmas Day. Like that's the dream start. That's like a great way. For one, everyone, even for the NBA tipping off in late October, early November, everyone says they don't start paying attention to the NBA really until they're going to watch it on Christmas Day because usually they bring you the biggest matchups, and then they'll kind of touch base again after the Super Bowl as far as that's concerned. But my thing is, start it on Christmas. What the hell's so hard about if you're going to start it on the 22nd, what is so hard about just saying, well, guys, if we're going to start on the 22nd, it might as well just make sense to just build the, Merry Christmas. Here's the NBA season. But we knew this was going to be a strange time. They have to find a way to get that calendar back on track. Yeah. And I think this is going to allow them to do that. You're going to see a lot of players probably trying to sit out and miss some time early. And I think you have to be patient with that, like LeBron and others. But I don't think it's going to matter. Look, people don't watch all 72 games of the NBA season anyways. I know when I was a kid, like Fox Sports Ohio, the Cleveland Cavaliers, when they drafted LeBron, I'm not joking, I didn't miss a game. I didn't miss a game. When I was a little kid and I had a bedtime and I had to, my parents would make me I would get grounded some nights because I would, wait for my parents to listen to make sure they went to bed. Then I'd go back and I'd turn the TV on and, watch the Cavs game. I didn't miss a Cavs game. I was like, now I don't watch all 82 regular season games of any particular team out there. But, man, the last time I was, in love with the team was the Cleveland Cavaliers with LeBron James. The first go-round. The second go-round felt a little you left me. All right, now you're back, and we're trying to make this work, but I'm always going to remember that you left me. But that first run with Cleveland, that was my ultimate fandom in the NBA right there, where I could not miss a Cavs game. I'd go to, have school, basketball practice, come home, eat dinner, and let's watch the Cavs on TV.
I was the opposite. I still watched a ton of Cavs when he first was there, but I was watching a ton of other games. But when he came back for the second stint, there was something very special about the second run with the Cavs. it really felt like they had a chance to win a championship. I never thought they really had a chance to win a championship his first go around. I just thought, like, for multiple reasons, I thought the roster was flawed. I didn't think his game was developed as it was. And when he came back to the Cavs, his game had fully developed all the way around, and he had pretty good players around him. So I thought, like, okay, they can win the championship. Let's see how they do. And they ultimately did win the championship. Ultimately got to a lot of, was it 4 straight NBA finals? 4 or 5, however many straight.
With the Cavs the second round? Yeah, he came back.
So they went to the finals a bunch. Ton of fun watching him play. NBA, I love the NBA. I'm locked in on all those great Thursday night matchups on TNT, the good TNT matchups, some good NBA action. I'm here for it all, but I'm with you. I think the start date should be Christmas. Like, that's when everybody locks in. In a normal situation, my aunt and uncle would fly in from Jersey. We would watch basketball. My uncle Eric and I, we would watch all the games all day long. And then obviously the big matchup, whoever LeBron is playing that year, and years past, it was, they would play the Knicks some years when he was with the Heat, or they would play Golden State when he was with the Cavs. Like, it was always just great fun. So the NBA trying to get their calendar back on track, and everybody's expecting to watch NBA basketball on Christmas, just like everybody's expecting to watch the NFL on Thanksgiving. So it's like one of those few things that people can rely on in a COVID situation is that traditional game to watch.
Yeah, and they're saying, by the way, there still will be your typical Christmas games, Christmas Day games or whatever. But again, they're really going on to read the article a little bit further. They said it has to start on December 22nd for them to be able to get the games in by a target date, to be able to get start the finals on time and get it ended in time because of the Olympics. And it goes on to talk about the important, like right now, these players are just being, so it goes on to talk about they need the 72-game schedule that finishes before the Summer Olympics in mid-July. So we talked about the finals, which usually wraps up around early June.
Yeah.
And then you're right into. So the players have about a month to kind of heal up. I don't even think LeBron.
No, he's not playing. I doubt if he plays. His kids are older now. He's already got several gold medals. There's no need for LeBron to play. You know what I'm saying?
Kevin Durant, you go take care.
He's probably not playing either. You probably might need to call Devin Booker, those guys.
They're good, but that ain't the Dream Team 2.0. Dream Team or Dream Team 2.0. They had D Wade and Kobe and Carmelo and LeBron and hell, even Dwight Howard, Steve Nash, Jason Kidd. Chris Bosh.
It's gonna be Devin Booker, Karl Anthony Towns. It's gonna be the next generation of guys gonna be playing.
Yeah, I see bronze. It's gonna be the LeBron's team. It ain't gonna be LeBron's team. It's gonna be the LeBron's team, because all everyone's gonna be talking about is where's LeBron, and they're gonna end up with bronze as far as that. But how about this? So if that finishes.
Watch out for the Canadian team. That's what you need to worry about.
That the Summer Olympics in mid-July, it's worth between $500 and $1 billion in short and long-term revenues to the league and players. So that's why you started seeing the NBA players get involved, because it used to just be they would send the best college talent over there, which really I wouldn't be against. Well, I would be against that now, because the best college players aren't the best players. Like, you used to be able to send really good players out of college. You'd be able to send the Patrick Ewings of the world who would stay for 3 or 4 years. As far as that, I'm using that as an example of the superstars in the NBA that actually were superstars in college that stayed for their entirety. Now it's all the one and done. So all the best players in college basketball, they're in college 1 year, out the next. So, no, it has to stay this way. But that's why you started seeing that, and that's a lot of money that goes towards the league and the players. Because I kept wondering why the players are trying to agree so hard to get that, but because it benefits them too.
Absolutely. So think about this. This is the 1984 Olympic roster for the men's basketball team. Steve Alford, Patrick Ewing, Michael Jordan, Joe Klein, John Kokak, Chris Mullin, Sam Perkins, Alvin Robinson, Wayman Tisdale, Leon Wood. So you got to think, this is Michael Jordan entering his rookie year. He's not even a rookie in the NBA yet. So like,
he was just a few years removed from being cut from his high school team.
That's a fact.
LeBron was on SportsCenter and ESPN in high school.
But look at that.
One.
Look at that. That's 1, 2. That's 3 Hall of Famers right there. Like, now the entire roster is Hall of Famers. You know what I mean? So, like, that's the way things have definitely transitioned.
Unless you weren't good enough, like Isaiah Thomas.
Oh, God.
To me, and it's funny, too, because he's so damn salty still. And
He
like
should
any
be.
chance
He should be salty. He should be salty.
But that's why during that stretch, like I as much as I love LeBron in today's game, I hate that the players are all buddy-buddy. I'm not saying those guys weren't friends back in the day, but like those guys legitimately hated it's led to the point where they don't like each other now at times.
Yes.
Now you have guys who are, they hang out in the offseason. Like that's the one thing that I'll give the edge to during that time when they say, oh, back then it was tougher. First of all, to act like LeBron couldn't adapt to playing during that time is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. If he flops and is soft now, it's because the officials react to it. If you think Michael Jordan in his prime in today's game wouldn't take advantage of those same things, then you're full of crap too. Because like, there's no way in hell that MJ is going to try to force to play physical when he could take advantage of the lighter way out too. But like to act like LeBron couldn't play. So yes, it was more physical time, but the players from today could play during a physical time too, because they would have adapted to it if those were the times. But what I loved about those players in the in the 90s is that they all, maybe hate's a strong word, but they competitively hated one another. They they didn't say, oh man, he's great, I'm great, let's be friends. It's he's great, I'm better.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be better. Oh, you won MVP, Carmelo? Okay. All right, I'm going to come get it. Now, LeBron does that at times, but he picks on the younger guys now. You should have been doing that to D-Wade. You should have been doing that to Carmelo. You should have been doing
those his boys.
But that's the thing. Like,
he's not friends with the younger dudes.
Okay.
That's
why there was titles left on the table early in LeBron's career, because he was too worried. He's too worried about being buddy. Maybe if he looked across the court and had a killer instinct early on in his career, I think he does now.
Yeah.
But to your point, I think he hasn't always had that. I think he looks across the court now and he doesn't give a rip about these kids because they're just kids. So to him, he just wants to rip their faces off. But back then it was, hey, where are we going to go get wine at? Wine. When did wine become a thing?
You're not a wine drinker, Kenner?
No, my fiance loves wine. Her and her girlfriends go out for wine all the time. I didn't know that LeBron and Carmelo Carmelo owns like a wine company now. Yeah. Yes. I guess you're cool if you drink wine. I haven't found a cool way to drink wine. I was at a wedding last weekend and I was like, they're serving wine. I'm like, how do I even hold wine and look cool?
With your pinky up.
No, and then wine's disgusting. Let's just be clear. Like,
depends on what kind you get.
I took a sip and I'm like, you can't even look cool drinking it that way. Like, oh yeah, this is good. This is crap.
What wine do you guys drink? Because I'm looking for some as well. I like a sweet
God, now you're gonna be a wine drinker?
Yeah, I drink sweet wine. I forget the kind the wife buys, but she has the one that I like. It's like sweet. It almost tastes like Kool-Aid. That's how sweet it is. But like that red wine she bought one time, it was so bitter. She's like, this is good. I'm like, this is disgusting. Give me a beer.
I can't do it. Even like, so when Nora's drinking wine, the smell of it drives me nuts. But see, Nora's like, so she drinks wine, but she's a bourbon gal. Whoo! I'll come home and she's cooler than me. I'll come home and she pours bourbon in a cup with some ice. She sips on that for the night. Have 2 or 3 glasses. I'm like, 2 or 3?
It's lit.
I have half a can of Bud Light and I'm like, oh, I can't drive. We better Uber home.
I'm a tequila guy, man. Tequila.
No.
To get you right.
Nope. I used to, so Fireball was my thing.
Goodness gracious.
Nope. New Year's Eve last year, I could just drink it like a drink. Like I love Fireball. Like I love the taste of it, everything. Now the smell of it, because of New Year's, nope. Like it makes me nauseous. Like right now, I'm trying not to do the face because I could literally, I can't do it. It's that bad. I got so sick off of it because I drank it like an idiot. Yeah, it's that bad. Who do we got? We got Shaw. Is this Shaw? Who's this? He gone, but he's commenting. I think you can just hit drop on that. Shaw says some could have adapted, but there's definitely some that are just too soft. Okay, but when you say some, if we're talking about the role players, I mean, who cares? No one cared about the role players in the NBA in the 90s. We're talking about the stars. Stars are stars in any generation. The stars of today would have been stars back then. People like James Harden, for instance. Oh, there's no way he would have. The guy's too talented to just not be able to figure out how to play basketball in the 90s.
Gotta stop traveling.
It's
a joke. It's a joke.
I don't know where you see. Nope. Maybe I do have an anger problem.
Maybe.
Like there's more important things in life to get angry at than Kev Nash saying James Harden travels a lot and me getting mad. I don't even like James Harden. Like he was freaking hopscotch. Like have you seen the videos that they do of him where he like ball fakes, then he shuffles like 10 steps backwards and then fade away?
Bang! Like goodness crazy. Yeah, you made the shot, but come on, man, you traveled, man.
See, so now Shaw has an NBA opinion that's going to take you off.
Oh boy.
Now he says Melo could not have played back then.
Okay.
Oh, what's wrong, Kev?
Okay. He could have played back then. Look at how he played in Denver. He was a post scorer in Denver. He's a jump shooter now, but in his prime, he was a post player.
Yep, all them rings.
You said play, not win championships. Those are two totally different things.
I mean, anyone could play. Just can you play well?
Yeah, I think he would have played well.
He'd be on the ground. He'd be hurt.
On the ground. When has he been hurt? He's never been hurt.
He's right. He's played in a lot of finals games.
He's never been hurt.
He's never won a championship.
Hold on. So which is it? He's been hurt or he can't play?
He's been bad.
Been bad? Yes, he's definitely had a bad playoff.
Everyone this year. He's back. He's back. 15 points a game is back in a game where everyone's averaging 28, 29. All the greats are.
When your leading scorer is averaging 33 points a game, you should not be averaging more than 15 points.
LeBron and Anthony Davis seem to be doing it just fine.
Your second leading scorer is averaging 25 a game. You're the third guy. He's the third guy.
He's not the third guy. He should be the second or first guy. If he's back, he's the third guy. He's just a glorified role player now.
He is a role player.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree. You still get mad. He's the third guy.
Shaw says wasn't tall enough. He would have been too small to bang down low and too slow to play on the wing back then.
Maybe you only watched Melo when he played with New York or his stint with OKC. But if you watch Melo when he played with Denver, Melo with the braids, like when he was like real athletic, dunking on Yao Ming, running the floor, dunking on Tim Duncan, he would have played fine. Like, and people act like he got in the league in 2002. Like those players that were in the 90s were still in the NBA then. Like Kobe was in his prime then. Like, so the people that love Kobe and bash on, Melo and LeBron and everything like that, these players overlap. So he'd have been perfectly fine.
Doug Toby says, carried Syracuse to the national championship as a freshman. So I don't know if you're just pointing that out or if that's fitting one argument or the other. But
and now, as a Syracuse fanatic that I am, I greatly appreciate it. But I don't necessarily correlate anything that someone does, especially in college basketball, like, all right, he won a championship in college. That makes him necessarily great at the next level. I mean, look at what's old buddy from North Carolina. I want to say Tyler Hero, but not Tyler Hero. Hansborough. Like he was, he had a cup of coffee in the NBA. He led his team to a national championship. I don't think those things correlate, but a guy that scores 28 points a game is going to still score 20-some points a game, and no matter what era. Like, we act like only the greatest of the greats would transition from era to era. No, a lot of these dudes would transition to the 80s, to the 90s, just like the dudes from the 80s and 90s would transition to today. That'd be perfectly fine. Like, you imagine what Isaiah Thomas would do in today's NBA where you can't hand check. It's going to be doing exactly what Steve Nash did.
So in that MJ 30 for 30, he retired. He quit because No, Michael Jordan. I watched it. I even watched it again the other night because I always like to rewatch that one scene just to make sure that I'm getting it right. He quit because he couldn't handle not being able to leave his apartment because there'd be a camera in his face. That's mentally. He might be physically, strong, but he's mentally soft then.
All right, Skip Bayless.
No, it's true. Like LeBron plays in the day of social media where the guy, he gets made fun of. He gets ripped for chewing gum the wrong way.
Well, that's this big difference between.
Nope, there's not.
It is a huge difference between that and social media and the media then. The media then approach you. Social media, you approach it.
Mm-hmm.
You have it to go to. If you don't want to go to it, you don't have to. But when you leave, you do have to leave the house.
You really don't think he would have gone to it?
I'm just saying those are the facts.
LeBron leaves the house today and he's fine.
I'm just saying that's a fact. When people talk about being on social media, they all in my comments. You don't have to be on social media, but you do have to leave the house. You do have to leave the house to go to the game. Like, those are facts.
LeBron leaves the house and he gets to the games just fine.
Yeah, that's great. And he's a great basketball player. Nobody's denying that.
And he's played 17, going on 18 straight years now without quitting because
what does that have to do with anything?
They're shining a camera at me. I got to take a break. I can't do this.
Are we really going to do that today? We're really going to go there today?
I will die on that hill.
Okay.
I will die on that hill.
You'll find anything. Subtweeting teammates. Don't check out, check in. Don't fit out, fit in. Subtweeting. That's real leadership there.
You mean the guy that's led 3 teams?
I'm just saying.
3 different franchises to an NBA championship. He gets star players to buy into being role players, and they don't complain at all, other than crybaby Kyrie. We all look where he ended up, so that's not a LeBron problem. Yeah, I don't think LeBron's leadership problem
I'm just saying, don't check out, check in.
With Michael, had people punching him. He had teammates punching him. You have guys who do anything for LeBron in the league.
Hey, yeah, get in line to get punched.
Aye.
Very, very 1980s. Can't let that fly today.
Sean Boland says Melo and Kobe got extremely. And again, when I read these comments, by the way, we are live on Facebook. Search the Justin Kinner Show on Facebook, and you could tell us how stupid we are. Mainly me. I'm usually the stupid one. Okay, I can admit it, but not here. MJ quit because he couldn't handle a camera. So go to Facebook, search the Justin Kinner Show, and you can comment on the conversation we're having in the chat section or give us a call at 457-9464. But when you comment in, we're able to pull your comment into the show. Your profile picture is displayed, so you get to show off your Facebook profile and everything. But Sean Boland on Facebook, Kev, says Melo and Kobe got extremely physical in those Western Conference Finals. Mm-hmm. What a trash take, haha, Melo would kill in any era. Oh, that wasn't directed at me. That was directed at Shaw.
Yeah.
What a trash take, Shaw. Yeah. Fights in the chat section. I like it.
Getting it on.
Man. All right. Hold on, there's more. Hold on, let me you can hit the outro.
You sure?
Push me. Yep.
You sure?
Yep,
okay. I was just making sure we were going to get up out of here on time.
Few players could guard Melo in his prime. Well, there was enough players to find a way to guard him to keep him from winning championships.
Oh, Lord.
MJ quit because his dad was killed as a message. If you want to believe that little theory, then you go right on ahead. If you want to believe that theory, you go right on ahead.
Doesn't fit Kenner's narrative. It's all good, man. It's cool, man.
Nah, that's not what happened. I mean, his dad did die. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying that's not why he quit.
Okay.
I'm telling you, that's not why he quit. He said in the thing he had to step away because he had too much because the media would not leave him alone.
And then
coming from LeBron, who has maybe the former president of the United States literally ripping him every chance that he gets. LeBron has the president of the United States attacking him. He has everyone on social media attacking him. And Michael Jordan couldn't handle a camera in his face. Oh, Lord. I'm just saying.
When in doubt, go to the Michael Jordan card.
It's not a card. It's not a card. I mean, who carries cards anymore? Everything's on your phone. It's not a card. You know what it is? It's facts. And we'll be back in a moment. More of the Justin Kinner Show with Kevin Nash.
Count all the votes.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
This afternoon will be clear, sunny, and windy with a high near 68. Tonight is going to be partly cloudy with a low around 48. And tomorrow will be partly cloudy with a high near 65. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
If you're driving less, you could be saving more on car insurance. Save money with pay-per-mile insurance from Allstate. Call a local Allstate agent and get a quote.
Welcome to Pipestone Golf Club with a 4-star rating from Golf Digest and recognized as the best course to play. Pipestone is a favorite in the Miami Valley. The Arthur Hills design masterpiece is carved into the sweeping foothills and ancient oaks of southwestern Ohio. The course provides a quality challenge to golfers of all levels, and everyone is welcome. Be sure to call for a tee time, then bring your friends and play America's greatest game on a golf course that truly sets itself apart. Pipestone, a great golf experience.
Now's the time to finish what you started by completing your degree at Ohio Dominican University.
It's not easy to always get to the finish line, but the only way you're going to get is you got to keep moving. Just kept putting one foot in front of the other. There was no quit. I was not going to give up.
Pursue your bachelor's degree in high-demand fields such as business, risk management, and more. Classes start soon. Get started at ohiodominican.edu/adult.
Allstate now has deeper savings, and deeper savings require deep thoughts and a deep voice, like mine. Save for being a new customer. Save more for adding DriveWise, and save even more for driving safely. Visit Allstate.com or contact your local agent for a quote today. As someone once said, saving today is money tomorrow. That's deep.
Not available in every state. New customer savings based on early signing discount. DriveWise is an optional feature. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Check engine light on? That's what we're here for. Let's head out to your car. This is our free AutoZone Fix Finder service. It's what we use to help troubleshoot your check engine light. It analyzes your specific vehicle information to give you the code you need to know, and even tells you the likely issue. And if you're feeling like you need a bit of help with the fix, we know some of the best repair shops around. Getting your job done just got easier. Restrictions and details at AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
The great thing about facts, they're proven. Like the fact that crude oil contains impurities, or that base oil made from natural gas is 99.5% free of impurities. And the fact that Pennzoil is the first synthetic motor oil made from natural gas, not crude oil. It gives you unbeatable engine protection. The proof is in the Pennzoil. Based on Sequence 4A wear test using SAE 5W30. Available at Pet Boys.
If I learned one thing from this great game of baseball, it's that she'll humble you. You think you've got it figured out, you check the standings, and you're in last place again. I'm Eric Rubino, Fantasy Baseball GM, and I can put my team in position to win every single time, but I can't play the games, people. At least Progressive's Name Your Price tool has options based on my budget. It never lets me down, unlike my pitching staff. Amateurs!
Get options based on your budget with Progressive, even if you're not a legend in your own mind. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Roosters would like to thank all of our loyal guests and all the loyal Buckeye fans for your support this year. Because of you, we've been able to stay open and keep our award-winning team employed. Our team members go above and beyond and are dedicated to providing you and your family the safest dining experience possible while still providing a fun, casual atmosphere to relax, laugh, and enjoy our award-winning food. Roosters, the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
If you've had a car accident, the first call should be to Blake Maisland.
That's right. With the sun going down a little earlier, with the leaves on the road, with the rain, it just lends itself to more injuries. You just have to remember, you only need one number, and that's the number 4. We are here for you 24 hours a day.
444-4444 or wantmore.com. Your organization will give you an absolute free evaluation.
And we work the case for you for free all the way through unless we win.
You have rooted yourself in Dayton.
Sure. Well, we all are in Dayton together. And when things happen, everybody needs to come together and everybody has something to offer. I'm lucky enough that I went through law school. Everyone in our own firm brings a talent and we make sure that whatever's necessary for your case to win it, that's what we do.
444-4444 or online at wantmore.com. Attorney Blake Maisland. He's there to help 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Hi, Joey Beckett here at Buckeye Ford in Sydney, home of the Works package and the Double Take Tire specials. Call today for your appointment, 937-419-8473 or 1-800-700-0050. Buckeye Ford in Sydney, exit 92 off of I-75. We'll see you soon.
I like a bed that's really firm.
I need something a little softer than that. Rest easy. With the Sleep Number 360 smart bed, you can both adjust your comfort with your Sleep Number setting.
Can it really help me fall asleep faster?
Yes, by gently warming your feet. Okay, but can it help keep us asleep? It senses your movements and automatically adjusts to keep you effortlessly comfortable. Sleep Number, proven quality sleep is life-changing sleep. And now, during our Veterans Day sale, save $1,000 on the Queen Sleep Number 360 Special Edition smart bed, now $17.99. Only for a limited time. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your car insurance with Right Track, which rewards you for safe driving.
As the world's most careful driver, that's perfect. Now applying 2 pounds of force for acceleration. You're really turning in 0.3 miles and begin deceleration.
With Liberty Mutual's Right Track, you could earn up to 30% savings based on how you drive. Sign up at libertymutual.com/righttrack.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Discount on participating vehicles, base coverages only. Availability varies.
Savor slow roasted turkey at Bob Evans. Now on our Dinner Bell Plates menu for just $7.99. Or get it as a family meal to go.
Hey, who wants free money? Who are we kidding? We all do. It's the ESPN Dayton #We Want to Get Paid cash contest. Listen for the word that wins 18 times a day, starting at 6 a.m. Monday through Friday. Enter the keyword at wingam.com for your chance to win $1,000. It's the ESPN Dayton #We Want to Get Paid cash contest. All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio.
All right, and we are back, by the way. So, of course, we're talking a little MJ there towards the end. And Trey Green says, who cares if Jordan quit? He saved the world on Space Jam.
That's also a fact.
You know, it's funny because Keith Byers shares the story all the time. Like, Keith Byers has golfed with MJ, like, on multiple occasions and stuff. And he shares the story Keith did about when he went to a golf outing and brought his son, and Michael Jordan was there. And Michael Jordan said he would take, so Michael Jordan took a picture with Byers' kids. And all these years later, as Byers' son got older, Byers shares the story about how, every time, Byers' kid brings out that picture, he always says, oh, yeah, that's, when he was a little bit younger, I guess, is when he was showing off the picture. He goes, oh, yeah, it's the guy from Space Jam. And Byers was like, come on.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, the guy from Space Jam.
Guy from Space Jam. Oh, sweet dude.
Yeah. So there you go.
All right. Well, shoot, you got to think about it now, man. I'm into sneakers a ton. There's kids now that buy up all the shoes that came out in the 80s and 90s and everything like that I couldn't afford then, but now that I'm an adult, I can buy them. They've never even seen Michael Jordan play. Like, you know what I'm saying? You remember Michael Jordan from playing with the Wizards.
Popeye Jones.
Yeah.
Christian Laettner, Ty Lue.
They didn't even, obviously, they never saw the Bulls Michael Jordan. They didn't even see the Wizards Michael Jordan. So they don't really even know how good he was. Like, they just know his shoes look cool and they want them. And I got to fight them to get my size.
What's your size then?
10.5. Anybody want to hook me up with a pair of cement threes? I'll gladly take them.
That's all foreign language to me. I have no clue. I just go in, I find something I like, walk out with it, try them. I don't even try them on anymore. Actually, I can't tell the last time I bought a new pair of shoes, to be honest with you. When we do this radio show on Facebook, it's from my man boobs up. I mean, it like no one knows. I mean, who cares what kind of shoes I have? Like, So it is what it is as far as that goes.
I'm a shoe fanatic, man. I can't have enough, man.
All right. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. Coming up, we're going to, of course, hear from ESPN Radio's Jason Fitz. We'll talk a little college football. But what's funny is, we're sitting here talking about the ESPN 30 for 30. But did you know that the same producers that created the 30 for 30 for or not 30 for 30, I'm sorry, the documentary.
Yeah.
They are doing one for Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Really?
So the same producers that created the Michael Jordan documentary.
Oh, I thought you meant the producers for the one that you're a part of.
Oh, no. That's the best one ever. That is the best one ever. So, yeah, Stone Cold Steve Austin, I don't know if it's like a 10-parter. I don't know what it is. But how cool is that for you wrestling fans out there? I know you're you're Kev Nash, but you hate wrestling.
I'm not a big wrestling guy.
Kev Nash, Scott Hall with you here on Who's Scott Hall? Can you tell me who Scott Hall is?
NWO, man.
For life.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
Now. I'm not that far gone.
But how can you hate the wrestling?
I don't hate it. I just don't watch it anymore. It's a phase.
It's a phase. Is that a shot at me?
No, it's just a phase. No, phase for me. I phased out of it. I phased out of it.
So, but I think that's badass. So again,
for sure.
The producers or whatever who helped create the Michael Jordan documentary, The Last Dance, they are now working on a documentary for Stone Cold Steve Austin. So
I'm here for it all.
Yep. And we all know how great that was. Like, we know that, but it's still as great as that documentary was for Michael Jordan, and as great as the documentary is going to be for Stone Cold Steve Austin, nothing is better than the Justin Kinner produced Cincinnati Bengals 30 for 30.
Well, yeah, I'm partway satisfied. I like your show, but there's times I just have to turn it off because you're so negative to the Bengals.
What if I told you that Bengals fans need to realize that Kinner is always right? That 1-5-1 is not better than 5-2.
They are so backwards. Like, do you remember when the Bengals were going to the playoffs and everyone knew they were one and done? And they used to say, well, at least we made the playoffs. You guys get the bottom pick.
That almost winning games doesn't count for anything, and that winning games actually matters.
See, we're not surprised because this is how Joe Burrow always plays. He's always good. He always picks up over 300 yards. He always posts touchdowns. He always runs for touchdowns.
He does, and and what's his record? 1-5-1.
What if I told you that Bengals fans are delusional?
That's the Cincinnati Bengal way of thinking.
It's the new ESPN 30 for 30. Our team may be a joke, but at least we like our quarterback. Produced by Justin Kinner.
Who the hell would want to play for the Cincinnati Bengals?
Coming this spring.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
At Meadowbrook at Clayton, our state-of-the-art golf simulators are ready for play. Book your tee times now and get our special rate of $15 per half hour for up to 4 people per simulator. Here's your chance to play some of the great golf courses around the world, including Kiowa Island, Harbor Town, and Spain's Valderrama. Weekday and weekend hours are available, and safe prepackaged snacks and drinks are only steps away. Go online to meadowbrookatclayton.com for details. Everyone is welcome, so call and reserve your times now.
T-Mobile for Business knows saving time and money is important for your business. That's why we're introducing Microsoft 365 on us, now included in our best business plans. With Office apps, Microsoft Teams, cloud storage, and more, Microsoft 365 on us gives you the tools you need to run your business. Stop by a T-Mobile store today. Qualifying plan required. Contact us to activate. 1 license per line, max 2 per account. Third-party terms apply. See T-Mobile.com for plan details.
Starting route. Your destination is 0.1 miles away.
If you drive less than
500 feet, turn left. You have arrived at your destination.
If you drive less than 25 miles a day, you could be paying less every day with pay-per-mile car insurance from Allstate. You get the same reliable coverage and hands-on expertise you'd expect from Allstate, but now at a price that's tailored to the miles you drive.
Call your local Allstate agent and start paying what's right for you. Includes a daily rate. Prices vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Not applicable in California. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and its affiliates.
Susie, I love you. Your skin is soft like a fresh leather interior.
Oh, Joe.
Your smell is intoxicating like that of a new tire.
You always know how to make me blush.
So this year I got you something special.
Tires! Touring tires with an asymmetrical tread design.
Yeah, and a free alignment with standard installation.
It's just what I've always wanted.
Susie doesn't know that Joe saved $150 at Tire Discounters. This holiday, say it with tires.
Fall is all about feel-good food and family. This fall, get a home-style meal on the go that everyone will love. Stop by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken for a 12-piece spicy bonus box for only $23.99. Home-style can happen anywhere with 12 mixed pieces of Lee's Spicy Classic Chicken, a large mashed potatoes and gravy, and a large coleslaw, all at a great price. Get a home-style meal made easy with our 12-piece spicy bonus box for only $23.99. Only at Lee's, famous for chicken.
Call It Propane has been serving the Buckeye Nation in the Miami Valley for over 65 years.
Let our family help protect your family from old man winter. Find out why 98% of our customers would recommend us to friends and family. Ask about the service options at 937-372-9194.
Family owned and operated for 3 generations, Call It Propane and Call It Seal Coating are proud to serve the Buckeye Nation.
Don't put it off any longer. You know it's time. Time for a bathroom upgrade by Bath Creations. Bath Creations, serving the greater Dayton and Cincinnati area, is a leader in bathroom renovations, providing the best value in bath and shower remodeling, and proudly made in the USA. With Bath Creations, you get a beautiful modern bathroom that is safe, comfortable, and affordable. Attention first responders, veterans, and active military. Save $500 off your purchase. Visit on Poe Avenue in Dayton or online at mybathcreations.com and upgrade today.
Cleveland State women's basketball coach Chris Kilsmeyer, COVID survivor.
I was fatigued, just like every other basketball coach in March, but didn't think about getting sick. I woke up one night with the worst pains and chills I'd ever experienced. I tested positive for coronavirus and immediately self-quarantined. I got worse and worse and checked into the hospital. Multiple times I said, I don't want to die. We know what works. We know how to fight this, but it's going to take all of us doing the right thing every single day.
Sponsored by the Ohio Hospital Association.
I left the military with a traumatic brain injury. I came home to fight depression, anxiety, and alcohol.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I'm Adam Greathouse, Army veteran.
DAV helps veterans get the benefits they've earned.
With DAV's help, I've built a new life for myself.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories great and small.
My victory is just experiencing life.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
The great thing about facts, they're proven. Like the fact that crude oil contains impurities, or that base oil made from natural gas is 99.5% free of impurities. And the fact that Pennzoil is the first synthetic motor oil made from natural gas, not crude oil. It gives you unbeatable engine protection. The proof is in the Pennzoil. Based on sequence 4A wear test using SAE 5W30. Available at Pet Boys.
If you're driving less, you could be saving more on car insurance. Save money with pay-per-mile insurance from Allstate. Call a local Allstate agent and get a quote.
NFL fans, the season is finally here. Touchdown! Get your picks submitted at wingam.com. Click on contest and enter the Pro Football Challenge. Weekly winners will win $20 in Frickers Fun Bucks. Get to wingam.com and get your NFL picks submitted now.
Touchdown! Incredible!
Good luck.
All right, everybody, how are you? It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash live here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. Now, normally we do this over the phone, and today we're doing it, of course, on YouTube right now. We're live on YouTube. We have ESPN Radio's Jason Fitz hanging out with us this afternoon. Jason, welcome in, sir. How are you?
Hey, I'm great. Thanks for having me. And I love these non-traditional ways to do it. Like, this is the coolest part of 2020. We don't usually get to see each other. Now we do. I love it.
Yeah, and it only took someone driving through a poll to allow this to happen. So I guess thank you to whoever, but there you go.
That's commitment right there.
Speaking of commitment, the Browns were not committed to anything other than losing this past Sunday. Congratulations to your Raiders, but that was an ugly game. That was not a pretty game, but the Raiders, you predicted it. We were both wrong, though. We expected a high-scoring affair. That was definitely not it. A very ugly football game, but a win's a win for your Raiders and another loss for the Browns.
Yeah, well, and in all fairness, I already had the hoodie on. I'm not trying to wear a Raiders hoodie to troll anybody. That's normal wear for me. No, I thought, look, and we were definitely wrong about the score. When I saw the weather in the morning, I really thought that was advantage Cleveland for a couple of reasons. I mean, controlling the line of scrimmage is something that most teams should be able to do against that Raiders defensive front. Not particularly good there. And then conversely, the opposite way, the Raiders offensive line has been so decimated. I struggled to see a path to victory when the weather looked awful. And that, to me, is the biggest surprise, that, frankly, not only that the Raiders were able to run the ball down Cleveland's throat, yes, but conversely, the fact that Cleveland wasn't able to do that to Vegas was really stunning to me, because I don't think very highly of most of the defensive line for the Raiders or the linebackers when it comes to stopping the run this year. And they showed up in this one, which was a bit of a surprise.
So we're week to week with Baker Mayfield and everything in the NFL, man. So where are you at with Baker this week?
That's a really good question. I mean, like, and to be fair, you guys, like, honestly, Raiders fans are the same way with Derek Carr. And okay. It is funny to me how all I have to do is go on social media and say Derek Carr is awesome or Derek Carr is trash. And either way, I can just spend the rest of the day getting reactions. So I think they're similar, though, in some ways. Like, some weeks they're great and then they make you think you got your guy. And then the next week you turn around and you're like, well, what is that? Now, this was a game that was particularly difficult to throw the ball in. I don't think he got a lot of help from people dropping passes. We've seen it all over ESPN repeatedly. I don't put all of that on Baker, but that's also, again, that is a very bad Raiders defense, especially in their secondary. I was a little surprised that they didn't try. And I know you couldn't attack 40 yards downfield, but you can attack 10, 15 yards downfield. And they didn't. So, a little bit of the game plan failing there to me, but also a little bit of Baker failing. And this is sort of who Baker is. I mean, Baker at this point is, for moving forward, the Browns, I believe, are going to try and be a run-first team that gets some, spike from Baker. And as long as he's comfortable in that role, I mean, that's great. They're going to win some games. I'm just not sure it's going to be the way that so many people had in their mind.
For me, go ahead, Kenner.
No, my bad. Sorry. So you're without one of your top offensive linemen and Teller for the Browns. No OBJ, no Nick Chubb. Of course, Austin Hooper's out. He had a last minute surgery just not too long ago. I'm all about making excuses for Baker and the Browns. That's the label I wear, and I wear it proud as far as that's concerned. But with that being said, we still are trying. I have yet to see a game from the Browns that looks the same from one week to the next. They've had the same game plan a few games back when they had won 4 straight, but we've yet to see this team look the same. That's why there's so many question marks about Baker and this Browns team, but they're 5-3 right now. And in that tough division, 5-3, I'll take 5-3 any day heading into this bye week, especially.
Well, and they're right in the thick of it for the wild card, right? That's why I thought Sunday was such a big game, because for both of these teams are going to be battling down the stretch. I think having the tiebreaker is a big deal. The only thing I'd say, though, and I believe everything you just said is a reasonable explanation, but let's also look at the Bengals, who had they were missing 4 offensive linemen. Even the Raiders in this game were missing 2 and a backup. So I think this concept of missing pieces is what every team is dealing with. So, conversely, when you watched the game on Sunday, which team did you think was the better quarterback? Because to me, I watched it and felt like Derek Carr was the better quarterback of those 2 quarterbacks in the game. And he's also dealing with a huge number of offensive line issues, dealing with wide receiver injuries. So I mean, at what point do we look at it and say, well, that's just NFL in 2020, and Baker's got to be better in that situation?
I'm thinking about Baker and his whole career. We're week to week with it. The whole OBJ, he plays better without OBJ. I told Kenner in the back half of the season, we're going to find out if Baker's a true quarterback or if he's basically Ryan Fitzpatrick, a guy that can win you games and throw up crazy numbers one week and then the very next week throw 4 interceptions. I think he's going to prove which guy he is for the rest of his career these last 8 weeks.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that, especially because there's some favorable games on the schedule looking forward for Cleveland. Also, guys, I'm usually the one that comes in and says, well, let's not dip back into the draft because God only knows. How do you know you got something better than that? And the Browns are going to be too good to have a high draft pick this year. But the one thing I will say is that there are going to be quarterbacks that hit the open market this offseason. There's a high level of speculation that Matt Ryan is going to be available for trade. And even though it's very complicated, some people think that Carson Wentz could be made available for trade. I don't think that, but some people, around Bristol, they're starting to say, well, could happen. Now, there's contractual complications with that. But, if you start looking across the board and telling me, okay, I got to decide between Baker Mayfield and Matt Ryan, even who we have a pretty good indication Matt's going to be out there, I'm taking Matt Ryan. And then don't sleep on a very under talked about report by Adam Schefter on Sunday that part of the reason Tua was given the starting job now is because the Dolphins, remember from their trade with Houston, have Houston's first round pick. That looks like it could be a top 3 pick in the draft. Right. They want to see what they have in Tua because they may have a shot at Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence. So that also tells us that Tua, in that theory, could be available next year in trade. So usually I'm not a guy that says, oh, well, let's go back to the draft. This year, I don't think it's just about the draft. I think there's going to be a lot of quarterbacks that are made available to the free agency or trade market that we're not used to seeing.
That's very new. Cowboys. That's very new. Josh Rosen was the first guy to be a casualty of that. And it's looking like Dwayne Haskins is going to be a casualty of that as well. And the possibility of Tua being a casualty of this is fascinating.
Well, and that would not be a statement about Tua. It'd be a statement about the fact, it doesn't matter if you think you've got the next really good quarterback. If you end up somehow with the first pick in the draft and you've got a shot at the next John Elway, and that's what people think Trevor Lawrence is, even if you think you've got your guy, do you really pass on the next John Elway? If you're looking at the next 15 years, I don't know that there's a simple answer. It's a reality for everybody that they're trying to figure out. It's that what it looks like today versus what it looks like for 15 years.
We have ESPN Radio's Jason Fitz with us here. You can catch a weeknight right here on 1410 ESPN Radio, Spain and Fitz from 7 to 9 p.m. Jason, I'm all about those hot takes, and I have another one right here. Kev, of course, rolls his eyes. You get to see the eye rolling now. That's the best part about this now.
Yes.
So the Dallas Cowboys, we're all about, everyone's all about, okay, they're going to re-sign Dak, or they're going to work on the extension with Dak Prescott. If I'm Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones is getting a little bit older. I think the urgency to win a Super Bowl is obviously should always be there, but I think it's there more apparent now. If you re-sign and extend Dak Prescott, you're putting a lot of money into him, and you have a lot of other holes that you have to fill. If I'm Jerry Jones and I'm the Cowboys and I'm high enough in that draft that all of a sudden Justin Fields is sitting there, I move on from Dak. I draft Justin Fields. I have a great rookie quarterback on a rookie deal, and you have a ton of money, an owner that loves to spend money. The Dallas Cowboys could be flipped like that in a heartbeat. You can't flip this team with Dak right away, but I believe you could if you had a Justin Fields potentially fall in your lap if you're high enough in the draft, a spot that I don't think anyone anticipated the Cowboys to be in. How likely of a scenario is that, in your opinion?
Well, I mean, how likely? If they're sitting with the first 2 pick in the draft, I don't think it's impossible. I will say this. I wouldn't be surprised to see them franchise him again, which is their right, and it's a huge cap number, even in that situation. Because remember, once they franchise him, somebody's going to have to give up 2 number ones to go out and get Dak. Now, would somebody do that? I mean, and that, again, talks to the trickle-down effect. I mean, if you're the Rams and you're trying to figure out what you got in Goff, would you give up 2 number ones to get yourself Dak? Probably. And that means Goff suddenly hits the open market for teams that are looking to figure out who they could have at quarterback. You know, I'd even say I think that Derek Carr is going to be the quarterback of the Raiders for a very long time. Most people don't agree with me. So if somebody like Dak is available, would the Raiders make that move? Maybe putting Derek Carr in the open market. But the other side of it is I just always caution everybody when it comes to the draft. Like there was a period where the Buccaneers believed that Jameis was going to be their guy. Titans fans believed that Mariota was their guy after they saw him for a couple of years. Baker was the second coming after his first year. So you dip back into the draft and you take this chance that you have somebody for 1 year, maybe 2 years. Do you have somebody for the next 15? If you're right, heck yeah. If not, it sets your whole franchise back 5 years. Well, Jerry Jones take that level of risk because you got to give it at least 4, maybe 5 years. And let's remember that the reason the Bears moved up for Mitchell is because they believed he was going to be a star. And now we've all seen how that's played out.
As I send you out, I got to make sure we touch on the Cincinnati Bengals because that's disrespectful of me, the ultimate Bengals hater, just to graze over the Bengals win over the Titans. That's a huge win because it's not just, I mean, any win for the Bengals is big right now, but who they beat, no one anticipated them being able to knock off the Titans, and they do. Who did we learn more about this past Sunday? Are we learning that the Titans maybe are not as good as we thought, or are we learning that, okay, the Bengals are just getting better, or are you going to say it's kind of in the middle as far as that's concerned?
Well, look, I'm already the president of the Joe Burrow fan club. I do think he's an epic quarterback, and I think he's going to have a hell of a run. Like, I absolutely believe that. When the play everybody keeps playing in Tennessee, because, you know, for anyone that doesn't know, I lived in Nashville for 20 years, and I got my radio start on Nashville ESPN radio affiliate. So, you know, I talk to Titans fans a bunch. They keep playing the play where everybody thought Burrow was down and they thought they were going to get the sack, and he runs around and gets the big completion over and over and over again. To which I say, did you not see the SEC championship game? That's exactly the look that Georgia had on the sideline saying, what the heck? How did we not get him down? So I think it's a statement how good Joe Burrow is. Conversely, if you look at the Titans this season, the downfall of the Titans is they are the worst thing a football team can be. They play down to bad opponents. They play up to good opponents. So we've seen them look really good in games where they need to look really good at times, but they look bad against bad teams. It's a reason that I have a lot of caution in trying to figure out how good the Titans actually are.
I'm a big Joe Burrow fan, and I love the way Zach Taylor has been using him the last couple weeks, putting him on the move, cutting the field in half, not having him drop back 100 times, you know, minimizing his drop backs, really actually using the running game, even though Joe Mixon has been out, you know, using Gianni Bernard a lot more in the running game and the quick passing game, everything like that. I give a lot of kudos to Coach Zach Taylor for the way the Bengals have been playing the last couple weeks.
Well, in fairness, I think I've been hard on Coach a couple of times about not looking for balance. It took him a little while to find that balance. And you're right. And the other thing you said that I think is really smart is the rollouts, because just keep in mind for anybody that's watching him, when you do a designed rollout, you're essentially eliminating half the reads. You're only asking him to get through 2, maybe 3 reads on the play. And that makes life so much easier. If you've got an athletic quarterback, it buys him time to make the right read, and it makes him read less. So as long as they can identify that play in pre-snap, it really puts Burrow in a good position. So I'm with you. I think that Coach Taylor's doing a good job, although I say that and I feel Friday Night Lights. But I feel like he's done a very good job over the last few weeks. It just took a little while to find that rhythm.
Full hearts can't lose.
Amen. Best TV show ever. Yeah, no doubt.
All right, Jason, send us out with this. Your top 4 college football. If the college football playoff poll came out today, what would Jason Fitz poll look like? Send us out with that.
If I was a voter, I would go with Clemson number 1. I would go with Ohio State number 2, and I would go with Alabama with the shaky number 3. I think we forgive how bad their defense has been a few times in here. Number 4 is the toughest one today. It's Notre Dame. It won't be after Clemson kicks their butt. So I am putting, I'm just hot taking it right there. So I am saying that this is right now, today, this could be the year Cincinnati would then pop up into number 4. And that's, I gotta give a ton of credit to Luke Fickell. I said this on the college football show that I host digitally last week. The reason, we need to remember that Luke Fickell had a shot at a Michigan State job that everybody thought was his dream job. And he said no. To say no to that means, to me, he knew he had something special in Cincinnati that was going to ride hard enough this year that he could either stay or he could go anywhere he wants. I think that Cincinnati has the opportunity to be the AAC's great hope. They have getting that Memphis thing off their back was a huge win. Luke Fickell's got that defense playing great, and that offense is as explosive as any in the country. I think Cincinnati has a real and legit shot at the college football playoff this year. I'd put them in.
Jason Fitz, Sarah Spain hosts Spain and Fitz weeknights from 7 to 9 p.m. right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. Jason, thank you for being flexible. Many Bengals fans thought yesterday that I made up the car crashing into the phone because our phones weren't working. They wanted to call and just blast me, and the phones weren't working. They thought I made it up, but this is proof that we had to do this on video today because our phone lines are down. So there you go.
What? Either way, if it's a conspiracy theory, I appreciate the commitment to it. I think that's strong.
All right, Jason, thanks so much. So you have a great week. We'll talk next week.
Thanks, guys.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash.
Justin, you're awesome, baby.
Right here on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Napa know-how.
At Napa, you can get 20% off 3 or more items with the $4.99 Napa Tool Bag. Yep, 20% off power tools, 20% off wipers, 20% off oil, and more. It's a whole bag of tricks. Well, actually, it's one trick over and over again, but it's a good one, saving you 20% on 3 or more items. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating locations, exclusions apply. May not be combined with other offers. Offer ends 11/30/20.
You have to be up in 5 hours, 2 hours, 6 minutes. And when you hear, you realize that you haven't slept a wink. That's why there's ZzzQuil Pure Z's, a drug-free blend of botanicals with an optimal dose of melatonin, so you can fall asleep naturally with no next-day grogginess. It's available in both liquid and gummies, tastes great, and is non-habit forming. Pick up ZzzQuil Pure Z's from the sleep experts at Vicks ZzzQuil. ZzzQuil Pure Z's, naturally superior sleep. Available at retailers near you.
Hey, what do you want to da-da-da? I don't know. What do y'all think we should da-da-da? Well, what did we da yesterday? Yesterday. All the dolls feel like the same doll these days. I know. Like, is today Monday or Tuesday? Today is Thursday. Oh, no, I forgot to call my mom on her birthday. Oh, no. No.
These days, nothing is normal and everything is weird. But you could still save big when you switch to Progressive. That won't change. Not today or any day.
Quote today at Progressive.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
You decided to upgrade your outdoor deck. So you ordered the essentials. A power washer, a set of patio chairs, and a shiny new grill. And you use your Bank of America Cash Rewards credit card, choosing to earn 3% cash back on online shopping and up to 5.25% as a preferred rewards member, which you put towards your most essential deck addition, a bird feeder. Apply for yours at bankofamerica.com/more rewarding. Copyright 2020 Bank of America Corporation.
T-Mobile for Business knows saving time and money is important for your business. That's why we're introducing Microsoft 365 on us, now included in our best business plans. With Office apps, Microsoft Teams, cloud storage, and more, Microsoft 365 on us gives you the tools you need to run your business. Stop by a T-Mobile store today. Qualifying plan required. Contactless to activate. 1 license per line, max 2 per account. Third-party terms apply. See T-Mobile.com for plan details.
Other banks charge fees on savings and checking accounts. Doesn't sound good, does it? Capital One reimagined banking. So it sounds more like this. With Capital One, you can open an account with no fees or minimums in 5 minutes. Get started now at a Capital One location or online. Sound good to you? This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
For consumers only. Approval required. Offered by Capital One and a member FDIC. Copyright 2018 Capital One.
WING 1410 Dayton. Dayton's ESPN Radio.
NFL, the Detroit Lions have placed Matt Stafford on the COVID list after he was considered a high-risk close contact, meaning like contact tracing of a non-team member who tested positive for COVID-19. The 49ers shut down their facility because of a positive test. Now the Packers team, we're talking about a matchup tomorrow on Thursday Night Football, a Packers team that had their running back A.J. Dillon test positive. So that's a lot going on